Good evening. Another Tuesday night, and look who we have on the show. We have Mr. Brent Tucker and Miss Crystal Newton. So,
Hi.
Crystal is the lady that you guys talk to a lot and that kind of keeps us afloat and keeps us running. And Brent, if you don't know who he is yet, well, who are you, Brent? What do you do?
Uh, I, I do a few things. Co-host of the Antihero Podcast. Also involved with HPTRT for a litany of reasons that we'll cover. Also owner of First Responder Cigar Company, Coffee Company, and Cask Company. Do a few things.
The Cas Company, I'm excited for too. I have a few friends that are big fans of drinking. So,
hey, everything's good in moderation. Everything's good in moderation.
but isn't moderation for cowards?
Well, let's see if you keep that same energy up for TRT.
Oh, I do. Trust me, Crystal knows that for a fact.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
So, Crystal, what brought you to human performance? What are your roles? What do you? Why did you want to take on the roles that you have assumed and that you do?
I have a history of a military background, and this first time that I spoke to you, Phil, and you told me what kind of patients that you guys are going to bring on when we were a part of the other clinic. And my passion is to help people, and when we're helping people out that lay their lives on the line for us, is something that I wanted to do and I wanted to be a part of. So when the opportunity came about, there was no question that I wanted to jump on and to help all of these guys. It's extremely rewarding when I speak to anybody on the phone. I talked to 3 or 4 guys today just about their medications and making sure that we give them the correct medications. And they're so extremely thankful for what we do. And it's, in a sense, crazy to think that they're thankful for what we do, but yet what you guys do is there's no comparison. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I love what I do, is to help the people that we help and to get the guys feeling better and getting them feeling like their best self.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Mhm.
Brent, so what kind of experience do you have with testosterone, whether it be legal, illegal, and what's your interest in being a part of human performance? I know that you and I've had a couple talks about it, and kind of it's hard to, like, for a lot of guys that are transitioning out of the military or police officers or whatever. I think it's all kind of the same when you put so much of your identity into something that you do for so long. It's so hard to accept that you're old, you're broken down, and not even old. I mean, at 36, 37 years old, you're old in the teams. That's a young man's game.
I'll gladly get into this. I did cycles, randomly, throughout my special operations career. Never, bluntly, never supervised. But there's so much information out there. People who are doing it wrong, they know they're doing it wrong.
Yep.
We've known for a long time now. There's nothing wrong with a CC of test 250 a week for recovery with a long ester of like cypionate. Break it down to 2 doses a week to keep it even. Those are all just really just foundations for it. It's you'll get 10 pounds, but you'll have to earn it. But it's there if you want it. But the recovery's there, and I think that was a great boost for me in combat. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Towards the end of my career, and it's again, it's another thing. I shouldn't say it's common knowledge. Maybe it is within the community, but between stress, that's common knowledge. But TBIs and what TBIs do to the to the body is just, it's unbelievable. So I went to after one of my last deployment this year, I went to a TBI clinic for some TBIs I had sustained. I just didn't feel right. I was having some really bad word finding problems. I was having some really bad or hard times tracking targets and just keeping everything to do the speed of which I needed to do the speed of CQB. The mental focus wasn't there. I woke up every day mentally foggy. You just know you're not yourself.
Yeah.
And then, how I describe it is usually it's kind of like, if you're sitting in a pot of water that's just slowly getting boiled, you don't really know, if it's getting boiled slow enough that it's happening till it's too late.
Yeah.
I kind of relate that to low testosterone. You just don't lose your testosterone overnight. It just slowly happens and slowly happens. And at some point you just kind of accept this as the new normal. Well, to take a few minutes to tell a story, I go to this program called PrEP and it's a bunch of guys with TBIs. Almost everyone with special operations. You had to have a history of TBIs to get in this program. And everybody has the same problem. Even though we're here for TBIs, no one can sleep, and everyone has no energy. No one feels like working out. Everyone feels lazy. Everyone's having the same memory problems. And so they test us. They tested us all for a lot of things. When they tested me, I did my blood work for testosterone and a few other things. They actually made me take it again because my testosterone was so low. They thought the test got bad results. And so when I had double digits of testosterone, they're like, well, no wonder you're having like such a hard time.
You had double digits, Brent?
Double digits.
Oh, that's the lowest I've heard so far. The lowest before you was 106. That's the lowest I've heard.
They made me take it twice. It was so bad. And they're like, how long have you been feeling like this? And oddly enough, I've been feeling like this for 6 months. This is just I don't know, as to make it kind of funny how dumb guys are. At some point, I just thought I had a low level sickness. That's just what I thought. Like this will go away. And then after I didn't have low level sickness, I was like, well, I now have cancer and I'm dying, and I'm just going to go quietly. Didn't ask anyone, didn't go take any tests. And then at some point I was like, you know what? I'm probably not dying of cancer. That's silly. But now I'm just a lazy piece of crap. Like that's who I am now. I'm just lazy. And I was really, really hard on myself, to be honest with you. So when I get these results, I'm like, why don't I say something soon? Like, you don't have to live like this.
Right.
Now, I will say this: it wasn't the end all be all. So like, I took a couple shots of testosterone, and I'm back in my 20s. But finally, there was, I had enough energy to go back to the gym.
Yeah.
And there was a reward if I went to the gym. Nothing's worse than dragging yourself to the gym for a bad workout, only to never get any results from the gym. So it sounds dramatic, but it is true. If it wasn't for TRT, getting blood work done, vitamin D is another,
huge.
Just a staple. You have to have vitamin D. If it wasn't for getting blood work done and getting that fixed, I don't know what I would have done post-military. I would have stayed depressed. I would have stayed, all those things, bad sleep, not working out, no energy. It's just, you're retiring. So now you lose your identity. It is just an absolute recipe for disaster.
And did you get medically retired?
I did.
So you didn't choose to retire, which is the same thing with me. I didn't choose that.
Yeah. Well, I could have, but I chose to medically retire.
Okay.
Hey, Brent, let me ask you a question. When you started taking the injections, how long until you started feeling better?
Probably 2 or 3 weeks. Oddly enough, and I do think some of it is just mental.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, even though when I say feeling better, it really took me 2 or 3 weeks, and probably closer to 3, before I started getting the results. That when you start, like, okay, like here comes some improvements, and then, you know, a little bit of success begets more success, and you're starting to roll. But even before the improvements, oddly enough, I wasn't going to the gym very much before that. But now I'm dragging myself and forcing myself to go to the gym, because I know there's a reward there to be had,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
And so even that, I will fight and say it's true. Even if you don't have, even if you have basement testosterone, it's just good for the human psyche. Just because you're not getting the results, you still have to go to the gym. You still have to do something, be active. You have to do something to wear yourself out, so you can sleep at night. So you have a reason for your body to want to go to sleep at night. So even though I would say it took 2 and really realistically more than 3 weeks, because of my, the motivation that something is now here that can help, it was really almost instantaneous. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yes.
That is a one of the questions that we get a lot, actually, is when patients either are just kind of asking questions before they've signed up is, I feel like crap, and how long will it take for them to get results? Because we're human these days, and these days we want instant results.
Yeah.
And so it's like, no, you're not going to take your first injection and go start deadlifting 500 pounds.
Right.
But for sure, I know that you will feel better, because one, injectables are absorbed a lot better than pills, in anything in pill form, obviously. But that's good to know that your levels were so low and you were still able to feel much better within 3 weeks. That gives me a lot of helpful communication that I'll give the guys once I get that question.
Yeah, and just to dive into that answer a little bit more, the 3 weeks, like that 3 weeks is always like, okay, like I don't want to go as far as like I'm back, but I feel there's light, there's definite light at the end of the tunnel. But my energy levels had already started to come back within a week. Like
that's the big thing is you don't feel like doing shit. When you don't feel good, you don't want to do anything at all. And when you start getting that little thing, it's hard to describe it, but it's like that little thing is there.
Yeah. So I'd even go as far back to really say, like, the energy levels, along with doing the blood work, getting the vitamin D in my system, that type of stuff didn't take very long. Even 3 weeks, when someone's depressed and someone has no motivation to work out, and someone is just, as down as I was, and I get it, 3 weeks feels like an eternity. We live in an Amazon Prime world.
Yeah.
If 2 days, now I get upset if it's not next night on Amazon. I'm like, really? We can't get I got to wait all the way to 2 days.
Exactly.
Well, that's one thing that really I don't like about it too.
Quicker than that. There was the positive, the trending upward starts before that. And I would honestly say within a week, I started to feel better. Within 3 weeks, I could really feel the difference throughout, if that makes sense.
Because like your joints stop hurting. For me, because I had a back fusion and a whole bunch of blown out stuff in my back, probably about week 2, my joints stopped hurting. My hips stopped hurting. They were still achy, but not hurting. I can handle achy. I did not like hurting.
I also, just from being older and several times, I've been injured several times in my career, including being shot and hit by grenades, like things that cause.
That's an injury, Brent.
to not work out, outside of workout injuries, which happens just in an active lifestyle, and then actual injuries. The one thing I was better at was not getting back in the gym and saying, okay, well, let's see how much I can do today.
Yeah.
I did a much better job of like, hey, I got nothing to prove. Like I'm here for the long game. Like I'm gonna ease into this, and that definitely helped as well, because nothing will crush you more than thinking, okay, it's time to go back in the gym, throw 225 on, just to be reminded how weak you are. And we do it to ourselves.
Oh yeah.
there's no need for it. We'll
Ego.
ego. I know, it's straight ego, and you're also asking for another injury.
Yep.
Nothing's going to slow your path to getting back on the right path.
Yep.
Faster than an injury.
That's what I like about DJ Shipley. He talks about like when they do the gym workouts and stuff, they have that amazing trainer, Vernon Griffin. And he's always talking about leave your ego at the door. You're going to hurt yourself. Stop ego lifting. And, there's something powerful to that, even though he's sitting there laying down, bench pressing 1,000 pounds. Like, leave my ego at the door.
Right. But that's, and I know HPTRT does a good job of this, which is what results do you want? Like, what do you want after this? And a lot of guys in my age group, and late 30s, early to mid 40s. I'm 45 right now. My days of deadlifting 550, squatting 500, and benching 375 it's nothing that I honestly even want to attempt to get back to. So that's not my goal. My goal isn't to get huge. My goal isn't to at 45 get a new personal best in lifting. I think most people's goal is, hey, I just want to be in better shape. I want to have more energy. To have more energy and be in better shape and to be an example to my kids and my people around me, get into a healthier condition so I can be around longer for my kids. And so, those should be your goals. But truly, if your testosterone is in the basement, you will not achieve those goals. That's just an unfortunate fact of life.
Yeah.
And one thing sorry, Philip.
No, go ahead.
One thing that I've actually found is many, many, many men are embarrassed to mention or to even think that they could have low testosterone. And I was telling Phil this story. I was getting a pedicure just this past Saturday. And the guy that I'm talking to, he's just kind of making small talk. He's like, well, what do you do? And I'm like, I work for a company called HPTRT. He's like, well, what is that? And so I was like, well, we provide testosterone for men who have lower testosterone levels, a lot of military, first responders, etc. And he's like, is it just those type of guys? I'm like, no, of course not. We can help anybody. And he was like, well, what's the symptoms of low testosterone? So based on what I've seen and talked to guys, I was just mentioning some of those things: low libido, don't have any motivation to do anything, kind of like no clarity. You don't have any motivation when you get to the gym. If you can get to the gym, you have no motivation to work out. Your strength has gone down. Just all of these different little things that men, like you said, just kind of like, it's just I'm getting older. And he was like, he's like, I don't want to work out anymore. Do you think that's a sign of low testosterone? I'm like, I go, men in general, once they get older, their testosterone levels start to go down. It's a natural thing, but we can help get that level to normal again. And he was like, he goes, so what do I got to do? I'm like, all you have to do is get blood work and talk to our doctor. And he was like, I want to do it. Signed up as I was sitting there. So the fact that just men, if I know one person just out of the blue that doesn't know and understand, there's millions of people out there that doesn't know that we could help them. And it was just word, like just having small talk, and we help somebody.
There's a few things I want to touch on with that interaction, which is so true. Besides, most men don't want to ask for help or admit it, or because I did the same thing. I just told a story that I did the same thing.
Yep.
I do love how the culture is changing. We call it HPTRT and it's cool. You call it steroids and people are like, oh, you're on steroids, because the acceptance of HPTRT just culturally has taken a big turn of direction, because of so many guys are finally like, I'm on it. Yeah, you want to know why I'm back in the gym and doing better than you? Hey, I'm on HPT. I'm on TRT. You should look into it. And good guys not keeping it a secret, thankfully, and that's kind of broken that mold.
Yeah.
But the the second kind of thing I want to break apart is, oh, this is for first responders or military guys, and it's like a fight or flight thing, and that's what happens to it. One, everyone, regardless of your job, it's going to happen to you because of age. But stress is irrelevant of
Yep.
your job. I assure you work in financing, you work in banking, you're a car salesman.
Yep.
You, as a man, the stress of providing for your family, and this is just true. Women and men both have stress, but the cost for stress can be very different.
Yep.
The stress a man takes on for having to provide and provide enough, and just crushes your health.
Yeah.
And if you're too hard on yourself, or life is too hard on you, it's just, you get in this cycle that you cannot break.
Yeah. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people don't understand is, it doesn't matter what you do. Like I was just telling Crystal, we brought on a guy named Nikola. He is the number one mountain bike rider on the planet right now. We brought him on. He's 29. He wants to know how he can continue to ride for another 10 years. He's already been at the highest level. He's basically been you on a mountain bike for the last 10 years. And he's got injuries, and he's got broken bones, and he's got stress of, I got to heal up so my sponsors will let me ride. So he has the same stresses. It's not, he didn't kick down a door, but he has the same things that are going on in his life, and your world's apart on what you did for a living. So,
right. The hardest thing that, and I get it, and people out of just an enormous amount of nicety, you're like, well, I didn't do what you did. I wasn't in the Delta Force. Like, my job wasn't life or death. And I don't get me wrong. Like, I appreciate it. It's very nice for them to say, but I truly understand, like, what's stressful to me and what's stressful to you don't have to be the same thing to get the same stress result from it.
no, you still have the same stress hormone.
Right. And that's just an absolute fact of life.
Yep.
And everyone is going to have stress. Just different things are going to induce that stress. But the stress is going to do this. It's going to wreak the same havoc on them, regardless of what caused it.
Downhill, I think.
And I don't even care. I don't even hate to say it. I'm indifferent about it. One guy made a comment, says, "I just want to look better naked."
Yep.
I really don't. I don't care what your reason is to better yourself. If looking better is naked is what you want to do, and if you don't look like the way you look naked, like the domino effect, that has, and people think that's, we talked about genders a little bit, but that's people think that's huge only for women. That's, men still have the same problems that they deal with, and if they don't think they look good naked, then they're not going to go out there and be confident, in the dating community, or confident with their spouse because of their self-confidence, and how they look. I don't care what your reason is. That is a valid reason to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with it too, because, I've been married for almost 22 years and got 2 kids under the age of 7. Partly I decided to get my everything dialed in for my sons, because I can't have 2 kids that are going to start playing sports and be the dad that just sits on the couch and watches TV all day.
Mm-hmm.
Or, oh no, I'm too tired. I'm old. I'm tired of hearing that shit. Yeah, I'm 47. I'm old considering, but at the same time, my brain's like, the fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Get some shit done. So, and then obviously looking good when you go to the pool or whatever. You don't want to be the fat slob that looks like a beached whale sitting in the, on the pool. But at the same time, I don't have to be that guy that has a 6-pack. And I've never had a 6-pack. I've never tried to either. Just functional. I was a wrestler, so I want to be functional. So
it was odd when I had that much low testosterone. Not only did I, shed weight, and just was not happy with how I looked, but I also had this small, like, layer of fat around my gut that was bigger I weigh less than I've ever weighed, but I have more fat around my midsection. I mean, I wasn't obese by any means, but I was more fat around my midsection than I've ever been. And so a part of me is like, well, hey, if you're going to be, if you're going to be skinny, at least be ripped.
Yeah.
And I could not shake that 5 pounds, 7 pounds of fat around my midsection to save my life.
So did it hang over your belt, or was it like kind of pooched out?
It wasn't necessarily like where it hangs over my belt, but it was heading that way. And
I bet you, because of the nature of your job, I bet most of that was cortisol.
I believe that to be true.
Yeah. Micah, yes, I actually personally take BPC 157. I take it 5 days a week, 20 units a day. And then I come off of it, and then I do it again. Can someone be too young for Curity? That depends on I need to know the end state of that question. That's a catch-22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not going to pretend to know any more than I do. But this is a fact. Just as a generation, the testosterone levels are lowering from generation to generation. And if we were to take that question, I'd just make a random time for it in the 80s, I would probably say I doubt it, but let's get checked just to make sure.
Yep.
But the way society is trending, it's without a doubt not outside the realm of possibility.
It's down 30 to 40% in the last 45 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Think about this. When we were kids, Brent, our grandfathers had testosterone levels of 600, 700, 800. You'd be hard pressed to find a young man 25 that has testosterone levels that high.
Mm-hmm. From what I've learned, I know that the medical, just in general, has expanded, and there's so many things that we can take these days. Like there was articles that I've read that kids that need to take that are taking stuff for like grown adults take, just for other factors in their life, like their livers aren't functioning correctly, or something of the sort, of where they need it to help build their bodies, like human growth hormones. To us, that's, a stereotypical steroid to get you big and bulky and, to win competitions or whatnot. But there's a lot of other medical reasons to take things that might be frowned upon due upon age. But again, that's what we have doctors for. That's what we have blood work for. We can always look at where you're at and see what we can do to help. It doesn't always have to be an injection. It can be other options that we have. And we have so many other different things that we can offer, no matter what the age is. I mean, certainly we're not going to help a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old right now. That should be part of their pediatrician's regime. But if a guy is 18, 19, 20, and he's feeling these type of things that are very symptomatic of low testosterone, let's see what's going on and get him to feel better.
So this is an awesome question that parlays into what you were just talking about, Crystal. So I get asked this question on average a week, probably 30 times.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't. You don't have to stay on anything. If you want to feel like shit, get off it. You will feel like shit. Your system, once it starts to back down on production, it doesn't start again. Like if you take too much growth hormone and you fuck your pituitary gland up, there's a really good possibility that it'll come back. Your pituitary gland has so many things going on in it, and it's super spongy. Your testicles are not. Once they shut the system down or start dialing it back, it's done. You're not adding to it no matter how many pills you take. 1, 2, men lose between 1 to 3%, I believe it is, or 1 to 5% of testosterone year over year over year over year from the time they hit about 30. So no, yes, you're on it forever if you want to be on it forever, and your forever is up to you. I've been on it for 16 years.
I'll add a caveat to that, and I'll actually kind of back it up with a story, if you will. There's almost two answers to that.
Yeah.
If you truly take so much testosterone, so much that your body says, I don't have to produce anything, it's getting taken care of, more than likely you're taking too much testosterone in order to shut it down. That's not always the case, but there are plenty of cases, including friends of mine who, starting in the 90s, was on high amounts of testosterone, and he was like, hey, I'm just gonna be a single bro the rest of my life. I'm gonna die young, put me in a big coffin. This is my life. He got off of testosterone because he wanted to have kids. He felt like he needed to get off testosterone to have kids for whatever reason.
Doctors told him to. They told me the same thing.
Okay. And he has kids right now, and he's off testosterone, and his body came back and made testosterone. But,
okay, so I shouldn't say every time, but the vast majority. You're right.
You take too much testosterone for 2 minutes. It's almost like anything else. You take too much of anything, you are going to do harm.
Crystal's got to take off, Brent. Thank you for joining us, Crystal.
Crystal, it was great meeting you.
Thank you.
Good night.
You too. Thank you guys so much. And I hope to be on again soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye, guys.
Good night. Yeah. So there are cases like that where things kick back online. But the vast majority of people that take too much,
right? Which
we've seen them, Arnold Classic, these guys that, weigh 386 pounds and they're 6'2".
Right.
There's no way to do that other than that.
Right. And you've actually done damage to your body. And there's a huge difference between supplementing your body with something it needs more of than giving it so much that you have damaged your system. That is a drastic difference between the two.
Yes, I completely agree.
I have a question for you, Phil.
Okay.
I should have got a surgery on my right shoulder for years and years and years while I was in, but never wanted to come off the teams. Never got surgery. It's still somewhat of an issue. Now I'm a lot better. I'm smarter with how I work out. I can work out around it. Pull-ups are now a thing of the past. Pull-ups will always strain it. And it's one of those things that once I irritate it and once it gets injured, it's more of an overuse type injury that'll flare back up.
Right.
And I don't have any interest in going under the knife for it, to be honest with you. I just get really creative. I don't do flat bench, unless my bench is always dumbbells on an incline, so I can work around it. So I can work out fairly heavy, fairly hard around it, and I'm almost fine with that. It's still there. I've always thought about HGH or certain peptide to maybe strengthen that weakness. Like, what are your thoughts on supplements for joint, like almost like mild injuries, if you will? And am I just destined to work around that thing, or what do we have?
So I had a torn labrum, torn rotator cuff, and a torn bicep tendon for about 14 years. The whole time I was in the military. I didn't get it fixed until about 4 years ago. And my shoulder would pop out, all the good stuff. I got it fixed finally because I was, might as well do it. I'm older. I'm not going to be dumb. I'm not going to tear it up again. But I still had problems. Like, I had this massive spot on my shoulder that it just became this massive, bump or whatever. I kept going, getting injected. My surgeon's phenomenal. He's a buddy of mine, but he is phenomenal. But it was just something with my body. And I started taking BPC 157, TB 500 blend. And I'm now taking growth hormone, and that went away. And I don't take growth hormone in, the respect of Rich Piana or either Liver King or any of the guys. I take 20 units a week. That's it.
Okay.
It's nothing to get my system to stop making it or get too far into it. But I also take Somorelin at night, which helps my body create more growth hormone.
Okay.
Because I'm 47 and it's just not there anymore. So those are the two, especially for you with your injuries and your age. That's something I would definitely recommend.
Yeah, and it's funny you went there. I was assuming growth hormone would be it, but I want to see if I'd be interested to talk with you guys about the peptides as well, or just go right to the growth hormone.
Yeah, I think growth hormone would be a great option. And kind of the off-label peptides, we have a couple connections with that are they're not illegal. They're not FDA approved yet. BPC 157 and TB 500 were FDA approved. They found that it worked too well, so they took it off the approved list.
Yeah, I tell you, when it comes to supplements and FDA, nothing. This is probably right up your alley as well. But nothing opened up my eyes like the documentary Bigger, Faster, Stronger.
Yep.
Love that documentary. Everyone should watch that. It'll change your mind about how you perceive this stuff.
Yeah, and see, and it's funny because I was watching a thing with Andrew Huberman, and he was talking about how the government had special forces getting injected with NMN and NAD plus. And for some reason, they started performing better. They could run longer. They recovered faster. It's because that's at the age of 25, especially in higher stress jobs, at the age of 25 to 30, our NAD level plus our NAD plus levels just hit the floor. There's no slowing it down. There's no stopping it. And it's just the nature of our body. So it's kind of funny that now people are starting to see that these things help. They help everybody. They help. I mean, we're now getting into the realm of doing the female hormones because our doctor is phenomenal. He's well versed in it. And there's been a bunch of studies that, ladies go in, they get their levels checked. The doctor's like, you're good to go. But they're tired, they're lethargic, their libido shit. They just they do it because they're moms. That's what they do. Then they go to a clinic like ours, and our doctor's like, hey, we're going to give you a little bit of estrogen. We're going to give you a little bit of testosterone because those are both in your system. And let's see how you feel in about 6 weeks. And then all of a sudden they're back to running around, they're back to working out and having a great time. And it's like, there's something to that. There's tests. There's people have been doing it for 20 years in other countries.
And it really goes back to kind of just because you're not dodging bombs doesn't mean you don't have the same amount of stress in your life.
Yep.
Watch a mom of 3 running around, trying to keep the whole family on schedule, trying to keep everything afloat that's on her side of responsibility of running the house. And you will find a stressed out woman
Yep.
with a low libido that's going to have hormonal issues who's dealing with the same things that we deal with men. Just different things trigger it, but similar things can fix it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Redline. I believe that's one of the ones. It's kind of a pain in the ass to get a hold of, but we actually can get a hold of it. Find that. Oh, yeah. So we don't send anything to Canada. We don't send anything outside the United States just because it's a controlled substance and it crosses lines and all that good stuff. And I'm not going to prison for international drug trafficking for testosterone vials. What number are you at now, Brent?
Mid 6s.
Nice. You got to punch those numbers up, man. I'm 47.
I actually, I intend to. The next time I get on a call, I want to add some Anavar into there to both help with those numbers and for the kind of the cutting. What's the word I'm looking for? Traits that Anavar has.
And it's good for your bones. We got Tyler's on it now. He was getting like these weird bone or shin splints in his forearms from lifting. And I was like, talk to Doc. He probably will. I kind of said he'd probably say Anavar, and the doc was like, yeah, we have this. It's called Anavar. And like, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. So, but you know, if you go, most doctors, if you go in and say, hey, I want Anavar, they're like, oh, you just want to get, you know, big and no, low dosages are good.
Right. And Anavar doesn't really have, we're not talking D-ball here. It doesn't really have those type of characteristics to add on significant weight.
Right. I'm 34, so hearing these guys talk about it makes me wonder if this is coming. It's probably there, buddy.
You're there.
not to shit on your parade, but I'm almost guaranteeing if you go get your blood work done, you're going to be not pleasantly surprised, but you're going to be surprised.
And just out of complete transparency, this with trying to keep a podcast on schedule, trying to grow the business of FRCC. We just brought on bourbon. It's not a shameless plug for FRCC, but what it is
should be
trying to expand a business by investing a ton of your own profits, and not hit the easy button by having an investor. It's super stressful. It's super time consuming, and I have not hit the gym the way that I should have. Like I really haven't, and I basically. But that's the ebb and flows of life. Like you're going to at some point as a man or a business owner, and like there are times you have to say, hold on, it's time to go heads down for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
But it can't be forever. And at some point you got to poke your head back up and say, all right, well, I can only ignore my health, for so long. And so we're right back at that point that I thought it would take about this long, and it's time to go back to the gym on a consistent basis. I pop my head in and out, and I love it when I do it. But so I'm really looking forward to upping those numbers and then getting back in the gym more consistently.
That's my thing is I've talked to you a little bit about some of the struggles I've had with this side of the business and trying to get the things fixed up. And, it just seems like for the last probably month and a half, Crystal and I have been chasing our tails because we would get 4 steps ahead and then get kicked back 8. And it's like, we just felt like we weren't making any progress to the point where it was like, fuck, is this worth it?
Yeah.
I believe in what I'm doing to help the people that I'm helping and the guys that I'm helping and the ladies that we're able to help. But gosh dang, it's a never, we're not going to win. It's like rolling that rock up the mountain. It's just not going up the mountain. Well, the last 2 weeks, we've actually got a really good, we've gotten really good news. We've gotten things that are finally getting fixed. Yeah. I was finally able to integrate, our prescriptions on our EHR. So the doctor doesn't have to write them by hand and then send them in. We got the labs on our EHR now. So things are starting to come together, and it's taken us so long to get all this stuff coming together that I was stressed the hell out. Luckily, I'm on all the shit I'm on because I slept every night really good. But when I woke up, I was like, but without it, I probably wouldn't have continued. It was so much stress, and not sleeping would have been even worse. So,
yeah. And besides, talk about, being a business owner and even some of the issues we had at HP TRT, which, trying to, make this better and streamline this. It is so difficult. I think every person goes to this where if you don't work out and tire yourself out, if you're not tired enough to go to sleep, then your brain just goes, and your brain goes, and it goes, and it goes, and it will go for as long until you eventually fall asleep. So you have to do something to make your body tired. The connection to sleep and fitness is way more than I think people realize.
Oh, that was a serious question. No. I have not heard anything about it, but I've also never looked it up or looked any studies up because I've always was concerned about my shoulder and my body being messed up and not sitting on the shitter. Yeah, and when it comes to the whole,
That map there.
someone needs to make it. Yeah, I agree. I can't agree more. When it comes to not sleeping, if you're not sleeping, you're not getting the recovery you need. No matter what you think, no matter what, as men, we're like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, but we're not. And when you're not sleeping, you're like, oh, I can get to. How many times have you heard this, Brent? Oh, I slept for 2 hours last night. I'm ready to go today. And they kill it. But towards the middle of the day, you're like, I thought you were going to kill it today.
Yeah. I had a teammate who was just an absolute physical freak. And his saying was always, you don't get big in the gym, you get big in the rack.
Yep.
And he said, hey, like everyone, don't get me wrong, like you come to like a real nitpicky level. Yes, it does matter what you do in the gym. But in the day, anyone can go in the gym, anyone can move a ton of weights, and it will have results. But unless you're getting recovery sleep, your body won't recover.
Right. And then on top of that, if your testosterone levels are low or any of your hormones, we won't just say testosterone, but if your endocrine system is compromised, when you go work out hard and you tear those muscles and you do all the good stuff and you go to lay down and you go to sleep and you actually get a good night's sleep, well, your endocrine system and your hormones are so jacked up that your body's not repairing like it should. It's not processing the food. It's not processing whatever supplements you're taking. It's not processing at its peak potential. So that also plays in with you just feeling like dog shit because you're not healing. I mean, I remember before I really got serious about it, I went to the gym and worked arms or something, which I've never really had any pain working in my arms. But then for the next 3 days, I couldn't move my friggin' arms. I'm like, I didn't do anything abnormal.
Right.
It was because my levels were so shit and I was so tired, my body just wasn't healing. So, but shit, I cut my thumb to the bone last year and it was healed in 7 days.
Wow.
So
don't do that.
No, well, what was it with a grinder? That's what happens when you work in your garage. Oh, crazy. You're moving. Okay.
Provinces.
Okay.
I think it was never a big deal necessarily to me, but just again, like my experiences as guys retired and they went from a very demanding, high stress job to something that was more manageable in their 40s and 50s. On the same token, their alcohol content continued to rise, and heck, we just launched bourbon. I'm a big fan. I smoke cigars. I drink bourbon. I love Reese's peanut butter cups. I do all of that, but I do it all in small amounts. And
right.
Alcohol is an absolute killer to your health as well as excess sugars.
Yeah.
And I'm not, unless you want to do it professionally for a living, I'm not that guy that has a really stringent diet. If I want to have a hamburger, I'll go have a hamburger every night. I don't have a hamburger from Wendy's every day at lunch.
Right.
So just reeling in and having just a sensible diet, a good workout routine can really overcome some of those shortcomings. And you don't have to live a crazy life, but you have to have some self-control, and that includes your alcohol content.
Right. And when we start talking about things like this, I'm sure if you go back to some of the other shows, Mike and I, and even Tyler and I had talked about, people getting on testosterone or getting on supplements or you name it. If you don't change your habits, nothing's going to happen. And when I was in Kalispell, I was talking to Andy, and we were talking about GLP-1s and stuff like that. And until I spoke to him, I was against GLP-1s. I think they're overused. And it wasn't that I was against GLP-1s. I was against the dosages that are being given right now because they're far too high, in my opinion. Not a medical professional. I just have seen the results of these things happen. So his sister is actually opening a clinic, longevity clinic in California. And they started doing, research on GLP-1s in smaller dosages. So like 20 units a week. And they're supposed to be phenomenal for brain health. So of course I got home, I started researching a little bit. It's no joke. It really helps with brain health, and it helps get rid of stubborn body fat. It's not as quick as, I need to lose 30 pounds in 30 days to wear this wedding dress. Most people don't understand that doing that, first of all, it's not healthy at all. It's not even close to being healthy.
Right.
What is it? 2 to 3 pounds a month is what is like the threshold of what you should be doing. So when they're losing all this weight, they don't realize that's coming back times 10. So that's coming 60 pounds your way in about 4 weeks after that. So
I really equate, TRT and certain supplements like this to a supercharger on a motor. I'm a big car guy, and the truth is, you can put a supercharger on a crappy motor.
Yep.
And if you don't have a real way to get the air in and move the air out, yeah, you'll put some horsepower on it, but it is not the same. But when you start eating right and you actually start getting after it at the gym and you change to a healthy lifestyle, you're essentially putting the supercharger of testosterone onto a strong motor that can now also move air.
Yeah,
you really get the benefit of that additive.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just scraping the surface of what could be.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, and I use car analogies all the time. It's like taking a, Ford pickup with 350,000 miles on it, which probably isn't a real thing, but then you dump in race fuel. It's not going to do anything. It's still a 350,000 mile Ford.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
race fuel in 87 doesn't matter to that engine.
No, it's going to just push on right through it.
Yeah.
Do you have a bourbon distributor in the Northeast?
We do not have a distributor in the Northeast. Our online distributor, can sell, can ship alcohol to 44 states, but we don't have a distributor in the Northeast. Another fallacy that I really like to talk about is, it really goes back when steroids were a taboo thing and no one really wanted to talk about it. No one wanted to do studies on it. It was just, which is crazy because if you really roll back the time a little bit, according to the movie Bigger, Better, Bigger, Faster, Stronger, there's a time the steroids were legal in the United States, just like they are in Mexico.
Yep. Then
the big ban went and became a taboo thing. One of it is roid rage, and coming from a guy who's been on steroids to some degree half my life, and I've been on a TRT consistently for 2 years now. I've never had some uncontrollable rage because my testosterone levels were up, and I've always kind of logically looked at it like this. The only people I ever saw act like that was a nerd that was pushed around and he was 170 pounds and couldn't do anything about it. Well, he got mad and decided to do something about it. Now he's 220 pounds.
Yep.
And now he doesn't want to be pushed around anymore. If he wants to be, he was always a dick.
Yeah.
He just couldn't do anything.
He couldn't do anything about being a dick.
Yeah. He couldn't do anything about it. Now
Mike and I were talking about that.
Yeah, and now he feels like he could do something about it. He's been that same jerk this whole time. He just feels like he doesn't have to be quiet about it anymore.
And he still can't fight.
And we've all seen that. And now he's a big guy that's about to get knocked out, and it's still embarrassing.
All because you wanted to run your mouth. And so I've researched this years and years ago, and read a whole bunch of stories about it. And they've done so many tests on steroids and testosterone or whatever, and they would do like double blind placebo tests. Because if you don't do a double blind, you can't really get a gauge. So the people that thought that they were getting steroids because that's what they were told they were getting, they started, and they were the smaller ones, and they were picked on in high school and stuff. They started acting like shitheads to their wives and just dickheads all over the place. The guys that were getting the actual testosterone, they interviewed the wives first, and they're like, "So, have you noticed anything different in your husband?" She's like, "He eats a little bit more, and his libido's a lot higher than it was, but besides that, no." They're like, "He's not mad all the time." She's like, "No, he's actually a lot more calm, and he's sleeping way better." And they found that time over time over time, and they came to the conclusion that, guess what? The guy was just a fucking dickhead to begin with, and he just continued being a dickhead, but now he's big and he can say whatever he wants, or he thought.
I'm not surprised at that study whatsoever.
Yeah. Squats can increase your testosterone level. Just ask Tyler. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. I don't really think it'll change your baseline. If you do a bunch of squats and you get it up and then you go to get your test, it might be a little bit higher, but it's not a sustainable thing unless you're going to do squats all day, every day. So yeah. Yes, it does increase it a little bit though. Let's see.
Well, essentially, any time you work out a muscle, you get a release. It just happens to be the largest muscle has a largest impact. So it's not. Yeah, I always think it's a little bit funny when people talk about it like squats are the only muscle groups that do that.
Yeah,
that's just a result of working out any muscle group. And the truth is, if that's what it does it with squats, you could essentially, if you really want to get after it, just to kind of flip it, if you want to do buys, tries, chest, and back in one day, you'll have the same results, if possibly not more. So it's really not just a squat thing.
Yeah, it's a all muscle thing because you're actually engaging your endocrine system because you're engaging everything. But yeah, if you're taking TRT, are there other things that you can take also? Yeah, I'm an example.
Other things you have to take also.
No, you don't have. No, you don't have to take. So if depends on your estrogen levels. So if your estrogen is a little high, you probably want to be on some kind of a estrogen blocker. I do not recommend taking that too crazy either because up or down, it'll fuck your system up. Actually improved my attitude because not tired, not stressed, not depressed.
I 100% agree with that. You want to talk about irritable? Be tired, be out of shape, be frustrated, have no libido when you're trying to satisfy your wife.
Yep.
That's a recipe for unroid rage. It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
You never know. Hop on HGH. I am a huge supporter of that comment.
I know. I have went my whole adult active, whatever you want to call it, tactical athlete life, wanting to try HGH, and maybe in my mid-40s I'll finally pull the trigger on it.
Wait, you are in your mid-40s, Brent.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Finally in my mid-40s. Maybe now I'll finally pull the trigger.
You're gonna pull the trigger now. Well, so doing more research on HGH, because before I take anything, I don't just go by what someone says. I research the shit out of it, and I talk to the docs, and there's not just one. Oh, okay, let's do that. I'm very methodical about the things I put in my body and what they do and how they process through my own body. Through my research, I found that even to today, they will give HGH in small amounts to kids that are undersized. So like my 4-year-old, he's a little dude. He's got a 20-inch head. He's 4. I have a 22-inch head. I have a pretty big head for my body. This dude's head is 2 inches smaller than mine, but he's just a little guy. And researching through stuff, they used to give kids small amounts of growth hormone when they're little, and then when they start hitting that growth cycles and their puberty cycles, they give them a little bit more, not enough to change a whole bunch, but enough to get their growth hormone up there, so they'll actually start growing the way they're supposed to grow at incremental stages of their lives. So it's a pretty interesting thing that I found from you all about TRT as being a woman. I know more about this is good. So, Jasmine, it's insane once you start digging into some of these things. A lot of women will shy away from TRT or testosterone because that's for men. I'm gonna look like a dude. No, you're not. You have it in your body already. But like guys, through stress, through having babies, through just life in general, their levels drop just like guys. And it probably drops exponentially more than guys just because of their cycles.
Sure.
Women go through 4 hormonal cycles a month with no outside influence. Now add kids not sleeping, husband's cheating on her, husband's being a dickhead, husband drinks too much, this, that.
Yeah.
You could have 32 different cycles in a month for them. It's insane.
Phil, I got a funny war story about HGH, believe it or not.
All right.
So we had for a little bit, we had 2 different teams, 2 different ODAs at this base. And some of the guys on the other team got a hold of some HGH, found out about it. And so I was messing with them. I was like, hey, how much HGH you guys taking? I didn't know much about HGH. And it didn't matter what their answer was. They told me an answer I didn't know. I was like, that seems like a lot. If you take too much HGH, you'll get that Cro-Magnon effect. And, your forehead will get bigger. Your hands will get bigger. Like your bones will get bigger too. I'm like, no, we don't think that's too much. I'm like, I'm telling you, that's too much. So this one guy, I went and put his assault gloves. I went and put his assault gloves in the dryer so they'd kind of get smaller.
Oh, you're a dick. That's awesome, though.
I'd see him kind of like struggling to put his assault gloves on and be like, looks like you're having some hard time putting that on. You sure your hands aren't getting bigger? I'll tell you, you look like you got some sausages for fingers over there. It's like, next, I don't know what's going on with this, but no, my hands are the same size. He had a fitted hat. So I went and put some toilet paper and I put it on the inside,
right.
Put it right on the inside of here. I put some toilet paper on the inside of his hat just slowly to make it seem like his hat is feeling smaller. And at some point, he started being real self-conscious about it. I let him. I was like, I'm just messing with you.
Oh, man.
Toilet paper in your hat. And I threw your gloves in the dryer. He's like,
that's awesome.
You really had me. He was like, I was seriously like questioning what I was doing.
How long did you have him going?
Probably just a couple weeks.
Nice. That's a good one because it kept on going. You could have kept going with as long as you wanted.
They were only going to be with us for a little bit, so I played it out for as long as I could.
That's awesome, man. Redline, does the 20% off code work on peptides too, or just the TRT? It works on everything except the packages. We have the Spartan package and we have the Juggernaut package. And before you start asking me questions about the Juggernaut package, it's on the website and it's a big boy. If you don't have big boy pants, don't get that package. You will be injecting yourself a bunch.
You got me going to it now.
Besides gaining skeletal muscle mass, does TRT increase cardiovascular endurance? I think it does personally because I have more endurance to do things. I have more energy. As far as like your veins and stuff like that, making you more venous, no, I don't really think so. Other than just working harder. But in my opinion, yes, it does. You might want to try it and see what you think it works out for you. And it's going to work differently for everybody as far as like your overall effects. And it just depends on what your end state is too, like Brent was saying earlier. Never stop listening and learning, Jasmine. It doesn't matter what it is. Yep. I have a bit of a dating from dating bodybuilders, but it's very complex. Yeah, you might not want to listen to all of that because those are way different dosages. 2 ears, 1 mouth. I tell my sons that daily. They don't listen to that either. War story time. Let's go. My buddy's dad did that to him with HGH because he wanted him to be taller.
The Guatemalan. That's you're trying to. You got some an uphill battle there wanting to be taller than Guatemalan.
Well, he's 4 to 5 inches taller than his parents. So I mean,
look at that.
That's
here's a fun fact. You want to know what the average height for a male in America is?
5'8".
It is 5'8". That is short to me. That's average.
Yeah. Fuck you, Brent. I'm 5'8". I used to be 5'9" until I broke my back.
No, you're just an average large man.
I'm just a little guy.
You're average. Don't you? How dare you? You're average.
Hormones optimize, reduces risk of cardiovascular disease. The New England Journal of Medicine published some studies on TRT helping cardiovascular. So I also just read a study that Harvard just put out last year, I think, because everybody's always saying that, oh, if you get on TRT, I mean, go on Facebook and look up Mars Men or anything else after this conversation, because I'm sure your phone picked it up, and it's going to tell you that if you take TRT, it's going to shut off your production. You're going to get prostate cancer. You're going to have a heart attack, all this shit. The Harvard School of Medicine just released a study that they've been doing for a couple years to completely find out all that's bullshit. It doesn't cause cardiovascular disease. It doesn't cause you to have a heart attack. It doesn't cause you to get prostate cancer. None of it. And you want to know how many people that pissed off? A whole bunch.
So are you telling me all my favorite wrestlers that died in the 90s of an enlarged heart had nothing to do with the excessive amount of steroids?
Had nothing to do with an excessive amount of steroids. Had to do with an excessive amount of HGH, growth hormone. Too much makes your organs grow. That's what Rich Piana died from. They call it heart attack, but it's a heart attack because your heart is this fucking big and your chest is this big.
Yeah.
So, active duty Marine thinking of starting on TRT, but have a deployment coming up. Do you know your doc? Should I start a cycle off? Okay. Several questions there. Do you know your doc? You do not want to take this shit out of this country. There's been guys that have been hemmed up for, less than a cc vial of testosterone and almost charged with international drug trafficking. If your doc has it, he is legally able to have it. But you need to get with your command.
Address.
Yeah. And get with your command, or you can get on like the cream, which I don't like.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny about the cream? I have had some people with some mediocre at best results of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some other people that swear by it. And I'm like, no, my levels are through the roof with the cream. And it just seems to be super inconsistent to some degree.
It is. And it's just like those pellets that they put in your ass. They're super inconsistent because some guys will have it and it'll dump it all in the first month. And some guys will have it and it's good until like the last 2 weeks. So those things are so inconsistent, like the creams. I mean, think about it. The cream, they fill that up. Well, eventually, I think it can separate out from the cream.
Something's going to go somewhere.
Yeah. So it's not going to stay in that same spot all the time with heat and cold and everything else.
So that's why I stay with just the tried and true. Just tried and true. There's no real reason to stray away from it.
Right.
Injectables.
Yeah, I'm 1,000%. And I give myself a bunch of injections a week. So I think they're all. If you want to pay the money, you're gonna put the time into it. You're gonna put the effort into it. Just go full bore and be done with it because you're gonna do it anyway. You 3, 4, 6 months down the road, you're gonna be like, hey, so I was thinking about those injectables. Well, I knew you were gonna be. So can't find the packages on the site. Brent, did you find them?
I didn't find them either. Actually,
okay.
I'm on it right now.
So go to the website on the top in the middle where it says plans, or what does it say? I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah, pull it
up. Services, click on hormones. Once you click on hormones, it says let's get started by that picture of Taylor Kavanaugh. Click on it. And if you don't know who Taylor Kavanaugh is, it's a tattooed guy in the picture.
Yeah.
Click on Dr. Chandler, not telehealth virtual visit from Midland, Texas. And scroll to the bottom, and you've got packages. You have plans or services. Sorry. If you can't find it, Redline, let me know. I can help you out again. Micah, when you're deployed, the cream is also a lubricant. I've got so many things I could have said to that, but I stopped myself.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why I pictured a goat in that whole situation, but it did. I wouldn't recommend that on a human being. Well, depends on what human being. It's 2025. Who knows what you guys are doing deployed these days?
Yeah.
So you had overall good results then, Brent, with being on TRT legally, illegally.
Yeah, for sure. Again, I think I have a slightly modest amount, but again, that's also comes with a little bit of intentionally. Yeah. I knew right now I was going to go heads down. I essentially live on push-up workouts for the most part. Very rarely do I get into a hotel. I'll throw some weights around, but my schedule these last couple of months have just been insane.
Yeah.
But I got about 2 more weeks on this. Knowing there's light at the end of the tunnel, I will start making more time for the gym. So that way, when the more time hits, I'm not starting from zero.
Right.
And I'll be calling to see if, like I said, add Anavar, do something to up those up. I'd like to be in the 800s.
Yeah, that's where my body likes to hover. I hover between 800 and 1,000. At 25, my natural levels were 1,200, to the point to where my command had me do the test 3 times because they didn't believe me. Right. And they didn't believe the doctor who did the test. And finally, he called command and was like, "Stop sending him. That's his natural level. There's no way he could have skewed this at all."
Right. Hey, man. Hey, Phil, some guys have all the luck.
Yeah, well, I'm only 5'8", so. I was 5'9", but I'm 5'8", and fuck it, whatever. It is what it is. I'm not 6'2", so who cares? Yeah. But here's what you want to hear, something really fucked up. So I'm the oldest boys of all my brothers. Then you have 5'11", then you have 6 foot, and then you have 6'2". My oldest son is 6'3", Brent.
No way.
Yeah, how's them fucking apples?
You guys are getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
I was just in the NBA.
I was the test. I was the test dummy, man. The test sample. It didn't work out great. But genetics are insane to me because you have 2 kids from the same parents or same dad or whatever, and all of a sudden, you have these monsters. And then I saw a little couple. Their kids like 6'4". They're like 3'2".
Yeah, I don't know how it happens. I really don't. Like, genetics really are funny. Like it's almost no rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
Well, I say no rhyme. It's so funny because there's some families that they're almost like carbon copies of each other.
Yeah.
They're all this size, they're all this height. Like, that's definitely your son, that's definitely your grandson. And others are just wildly off the charts to one degree or another. Skinny, fat, tall, short, blonde hair, brown hair, and you just get this hodgepodge of a family. Like, I don't get
no
it.
rhyme, no reason. Yeah. And they have the same parents, and it's insane to me how genetics can play such a massive role in not a massive role, but the way they like, oh, we're gonna go this way today. Oh, we're gonna go that way today. And then you have one that's like 6'9", but then you have the Watt brothers. You can tell all three of them are brothers, except the last one. That's their brother, but he's smaller than them, and he's not small by any means. But
I've always said this about genetics, and I kind of equated this like everyone within reason is within their genetic mold,
right.
And so what I mean by that is, if you're 23 years old, you're 6 foot tall, and you're 170 pounds. I really don't care for the most part. This is talking in generalities. What you eat, how hard you lift, what you do, you will not be a bodybuilder.
No,
you just won't. Your genetic mold is to be a thin person. Now, we can take a variance of that. You can shift it 10%, 15%. Like, it doesn't mean you have to be 170.
right.
But to even really think the fact that you're going to get above 200 without any sort of help is relatively off the charts.
Yeah.
So, if you don't like where you're at and you want to do something extreme, and I say that to say, I look around like that guy's on steroids. People have no idea
Right.
how many guys are on steroids. And yes, there will always be the one-offs and the people like you, to be honest with you, like, that 1200 naturally is crazy. But guess what? If you knew that guy 2 years ago as a beanpole and now he's 240 pounds ripped, he's on steroids. And I cannot believe the amount of people like, no, he's not. I see him out here working out really hard all the time. Yes. It's not a magical pill.
There's a reason why he can still do that.
That's right. You're going to have to put in a lot of work, but you are not putting 60 pounds in your body of muscle in a year, 2 years, 3 years.
It's like the Liver King saying that he was all natural, and I called bullshit on that right at the beginning because he's my age, and I'm like, there's no possible way his hormones are so optimized at his age. Just eating liver, that's not a fucking thing.
Right. That was one of the biggest jokes that people swallowed of all time. Like, that guy's all natural.
Yeah. Like, I was glad when Joe Rogan pulled out. He's like, there's no way possible that guy is in that shape and he's not taking gear. And it's okay if he is. Who gives a shit?
That's what's crazy. And that's what starts some of this negative viewpoints of it, because guys like that are like, no, I'm not on steroids, when they are. And there's a bunch of people like, oh, that they don't realize that how many people are doing it. That's part of the problem. People not being honest about what they're doing. And if more people are honest about it, it would be more widely accepted, because you would know a bunch of people who are doing it.
Right. Exactly. Is no sleep better than little sleep in 48-hour period? No, it's neither one are good. But if you had to choose, I'm pretty sure Brent would.
I'll take a little sleep all day long.
I'll take a little sleep all day long, because at least a little sleep, your body can try to work itself back up.
I want to go back to the last question, because he said that he was in the low 300s, and his battalion doc says I'm within range. This is what's crazy. This is what's absolutely crazy about the military. Now I was retiring, so they didn't really want to do anything for me. Necessarily, they weren't in a rush to do anything for me. In fact, I'll tell you this funny story, if you will. I test with double digit testosterone, and they give me this list of things you can do to raise your testosterone naturally. And I said, and they gave me vitamin D pills. So they give me a list of different things to raise your testosterone. They give me vitamin D. And I said, what are we doing here? Like, I was low on vitamin D. So what'd you give me? Like, well, we gave you vitamin D. I'm low on testosterone. Why didn't you give me testosterone? And they're like, well, we really don't like the optics of giving soldiers testosterone. And they even admitted, they said 300 is really the base, but really, just because you tested this once we'd really like to do multiple tests and see if this isn't just a low point due to the stress. And they really just kind of um, described it away.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you will. But they did say that the Army does give a range, which is crazy to me. I have no idea where they got it from. That they believe the male testosterone range to the U.S. Army, at least, or military wide, is 300 to what, I don't even know what the cap is, but 300 is what they still consider within the range of testosterone. That's insane.
So they just lowered it in some places to 195 to 900. So if you're within that range, and I had a couple guys call me and they're like, my PCM won't give me testosterone. I'm at 198. And 198. And you're within range. And I said, that's exactly like saying my V8 is running on 2 cylinders. Still runs. It still does the job. No, it doesn't. It doesn't pull shit up a hill. Barely pulls itself up a hill. So yeah, that makes no sense to me.
But if you really want to get fired up, we won't help this guy at low 300s. We won't help a guy at 195.
Don't even say it, Brett. Don't even.
You know where I'm going with it.
Oh, you will fire me up with that because that pisses me off.
And it's true. But if you want a sex change, we'll give it to you and we'll fund it. And it's a medical need for this guy.
And you'll get to take all this shit with you. And the thing is it's not just testosterone.
And then they're going to give that person testosterone.
Yeah.
Depending if it's which way the transition is.
Right.
It is insanity.
Look at that. The big head himself shows up. That's my baby brother. Yeah, 6'2", and the last time I saw him, he was like 236. He got a big ass dome. Look at Gordon Ryan in his prime, the greatest. Yeah, and Joe Rogan looks. Yep.
Look at Joe Rogan.
Yep.
There's no way the guy's been slim his whole life, and he's a little meatball.
Yeah.
Now. And he's deep in his 50s now.
54, 55, something like that. I think
55. And if you think that guy's just eating red meats all day, like you got another thing coming. But the same token, if you don't think he's also working out hard along with that, then you're kidding yourself.
And that's where we come to an impasse for a lot of people is they want that they want to have all of that results without the work. It's like saying, I want to be a Delta operator. I don't want to go to the Q course.
Right. I want to go to selection.
Yeah. I don't want to go. I want to be on a dive team. I don't want to go to dive school.
I don't want to go to dive school.
Yeah. Fuck dive school.
You just don't get one without the other.
The funny story is when I found out I'd broken my back, I also found out that I was going to go to selection for pararescue.
Okay.
So pretty pissed off. Within an hour apart, I found out that I wasn't going to be able to do that. The whole time I was preparing for PJ school and the pipeline, the only school that I was dreading was Army dive school.
As you should have been.
I was like, God, I'm going to be an Air Force guy in that fucking class. Yay.
But it was well known. The biggest studs to come through that school were the Air Force CCTs and PJs, because that was the end of their pipeline. And you guys have such a hard pipeline, and you guys have been essentially training for that, for so long. You guys, for the most part, come in and crush it.
Yeah. Well, that was one thing that attracted me to, the PJs and even CCT is those are some of the most humble people I've ever met in my life. And I think DJ even talks about them being at 24, the guys at 24th, where they can clear houses just like everybody else. They don't want to be in the front of the stack because they're there for a certain job. They just want to do their job and go home, which is, it's kind of cool to hear guys talk. Because normally the Air Force, we get shit on, but and it's okay. We drop bombs for you.
Yeah, trust me. That the higher up you go, nobody shitting on the no Delta guys ever shitting on the Air Force guys. You guys provide the You think I want to Army TAC P guy, or you think I want to go to a 6 week, or not even 6 week, a 2 to 3 week school to call in CAS? Heck no. Those CCTs are absolute PhD level at stacking aircraft and deciding the right bomb for this, getting them in there, getting the next one in. PJs are absolutely amazing at emergency rescue. Then not only can they work on you, they can also get a collapsed building off of you before they do. Just amazing at what they do.
Micah, no, he didn't, because he's a punk. He's asking if my brother got the ginger genes here.
Yeah.
Nope, he's not that cool. That's why I got good genetics.
Check out Magnet in the chat.
Yeah, Magnet. Yep, just turned 56.
Magnet did?
I guess.
I think he's talking about Joe Rogan.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
he's a big Joe Rogan fanatic. He watches him every day. It's annoying. Mag's a good friend of mine.
So I realized with my whole production, I need to get me a Drew.
Oh, for sure.
I need a Drew.
Sure.
I didn't have the sound problems yet, but that's okay.
Gosh, it's not Drew's fault. I'll tell you, we did a recording today, and Drew got there early, fired it up, and literally one of the settings have changed. Like, he's dealt with all the problems for so long now. He's essentially memorized the settings, or he knows what's wrong. But that's just when you start getting into complicated audio systems and video systems, they just kind of do what they want when you shut them off and turn them all back on.
Kind of like comms in Afghanistan.
Oh, gee. Sure. For sure. You could set down, as a former 18 Echo, you could shut down the convoy. Comms are working just great. Come back out in the same convoy, because let's say you're leaving the village you came to go visit. Fire them back up. It's an hour later. No one's touched the radios. Half the radios don't work. No one knows why.
Encryption gone.
Encryption dumps for no reason. Oh man, I do not miss having to troubleshoot commo.
Yeah. So, Joe, I'm confused. The TRT comes from the VA, or do you need to go to third party, then go? So when I did it with the VA, it was a nightmare. You get it sent to you just like anything else from the VA, or you can pick it up in the at the pharmacy. But yeah, they're a pain in the ass. You're gonna do it, but it's a huge pain in the ass. Look at that.
Yep. I could easily have the VA provide me for TRT, but I don't.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. It's more of a pain in the ass than it's worth.
To be honest with you, I probably spend more on White Monsters a month than I do on TRT.
Yeah. Let me see what else. We've got a few more questions here. No, Joe Rogan did.
I know Magnet.
I have two brothers that are day walkers. I lucked out. Dodged a ginger gene. Yeah, well, I'm sorry you dodged the amazing gene. That's not my fault. Called me back 20 minutes after I called them. The VA would take months. Yeah, you'd be lucky if they call you back.
Oh, gosh, yeah, if they call you back.
Drew. I said Drew. Or at least I thought I did. And guess what?
Yeah,
Brent knew what I said.
Yeah, you did.
Drew's the man. Yes, he is. I know I have a big ass head. Yep. You don't have, no, don't claim it.
Don't claim it.
His beard's dark like yours and has a little speckle of red in it. And that's not the gene, son.
Yeah.
Nice try, though.
You get a light on this beard, and you'll see all sorts of weird colors. I got light brown. I got some red, some almost orange, some dark brown. If I keep some beard oil in it, it keeps it dark. But it gets dry. You get some sun on it, and you're like,
what beard oil do you use?
It's, I hate to say it. It's and I should know it because they sent it to me in the podcast, and I can't remember the name of it. It's actually a can, so it's more of a, I want to say cream. What's it called when it's like a hardened cream of sorts? You kind of dig into it a little bit.
Yeah. I just heard this the other day. I use the same stuff. I don't know. I call it pomade, but I know that's not the name of it. Someone's going to talk shit.
Yeah.
So I'm a shameless plug here for a buddy of mine. It's called Dark Water, and he lives here in Kansas City, and he makes the most amazing beard products I've ever used in my life. So give him a check out if you want to. Since cancer and getting jerked around, private health. Yeah. Question, Chip. Who else do we have? Balm. There you go.
Yeah, Magnet would know. He's got like a 3-foot beard.
Oh, that's Magnet. Okay.
Wax.
Copy.
Yeah.
Wax is for your mustache.
Here's something that I wish was true, and the guy who said it started this off. What's that guy? Did kickboxing, like somewhat younger guy, tan, no hair. He got rolled up in Europe for like either sex trafficking or alleged, but it ended up not being true. It's just like a false allegation. He goes on a lot and talks really about like men being like
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate. And he went on and said that he smoked cigars because cigars raise your testosterone levels. And I wish that were true. And I don't know, and if that were true, I would have 1,000. But I don't. That's just unfortunately not true. I had to do some serious, because I kept hearing that over and over again. I'm like, I'm not sure if that's true. But let me check. No, there's nothing to corroborate that. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever done any kind of study that would even remotely say that that's even close to being true. He says a lot of nonsense sometimes, but I agree with some of the stuff he says.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't throw the bathwater with him, but he definitely has a few things. But hey, just because some people hate him doesn't mean everything he says is wrong at the same time.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I think we could use more men that are not afraid to stand in the pocket in the fire and take the shit. And like him and his brother were in jail for I don't know how long, but they were trying to get them to talk, and they just went in there and they basically admitted to this thing that they did, and they pulled them out of the cell and they were like, "We got you now, blah blah blah." Like, what are you talking about? They were talking through the entire plot of Ocean's 11 or some movie, and they thought that they were admitting to all this shit. So Romania, I think, is where it was.
Romania, that's true. Yep, that's where it happened.
So, but yeah, I mean, I hear all these things about this will increase your testosterone, this will increase your testosterone, and none of it does. I mean, you can go to GNC and pick anything, go to Mars Men, pick anything, and if you get a significant amount of testosterone change, I would be 1,000% surprised.
This is what absolutely kills me. Almost no supplements from GNC are FDA approved. They don't have to prove anything that they're claiming it to be. People will go in there and they will spend $200 a month to get into better fitness. Now, I will say this. They probably are getting into better fitness, and it has almost nothing to do with their supplements. It's because if you pay $200 and you're taking all these supplements, you know what you're going to do?
You're going to go to the gym and work your ass off?
You go to the gym and work out. And they're like, oh, look, yeah, I got stronger this month. Yeah, because you went to the gym and worked out with a purpose because you thought you were going to get, had this thing behind you. But no, you just ate well and you ate right and you went to the gym.
Because now you have a reason because you spent $200 on a bunch of shit you didn't need.
Now, if you'd have taken that same $200 and got something that's scientifically, unequivocally, unanimously proven to work, like TRT, you'd have got twice the results in this whole month that you were looking for. And it's frustrating to see that happen to some people.
Yeah, and then it's unfortunate because like a lot of the guys in here are saying their doctor said that they wouldn't prescribe them because they're within the normal range. I actually had an incident with one of the doctors here. And I went in. I've been on testosterone for probably 10, 12 years. And I was like, hey, I just moved from Florida. I need to get my prescription filled. So I need to get a doctor, blah, blah, blah. So she runs my tests and everything. And she's like, well, I don't know if the insurance company, and she didn't get that whole thing out of her mouth before I go, I have a question for you. And this is going to depend on whether I stand up and walk out of this room and talk shit about you on my way out, or I stay here and you continue being my doc. And she goes, well, what's the question? So do you work for me or the insurance company? Because at no point in this conversation in this room with me should you have brought up the insurance company. You let me deal with my insurance company. If my insurance company wants to deny it, then I can deal with my insurance company. But you shouldn't be speaking on behalf of the insurance company because you're the doctor. She didn't like that. Yes, it helps with fatigue, Danny, and more energy. Yes, it sure does.
And it indirectly helps with not being angry because you're not so frustrated at yourself for feeling like a piece of crap.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a lot of things that we do, man. Yeah. We beat ourselves down because we don't have that level. We don't have that, we lose our career, we lose our spouse or whatever it is that we lost. I think men take loss like that harder. We don't outwardly show that. But we really beat the shit out of ourselves because once again, we feel like a failure, and men by nature are problem solvers and fixers. And if we can't fix it, like if we divorce, men take it harder than women in respect because they feel like they failed, even if it might not have been their fault or whatever the case. Men will take it a little bit harder because they feel like they had failed because they couldn't be a man to help their wife or fix their wife or whatever they needed to do or be there, just simply be there.
Yeah.
So once they're crazy, calories are the biggest. Yeah. And Tyler was talking something, or not Tyler, but Mike was talking about a workout he does on the treadmill a few weeks ago, where he found he had more results by inclining it to 10%, I think, and then just walking on it. And he found he was burning more visceral body fat and calories than he was running for 6 miles a day. And that destroys my body, my knees. I can't take that. I'm too old.
I'm gonna look this up real quick. I used to do this a few times, but this is bodybuilders. I mean, some will jog, but lately there's a pretty accepted treadmill incline walk that they do, and I used to have it, but it's crazy, and people have gotten on this, and here we go. I may have found it real quick. The 12-3-30, I believe that's what this is, which involves walking on a treadmill at 12% incline, 3 miles per hour speed for 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
So there's another one like that increases, that slowly increases it as well. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing. It's walking for a fairly long distance with an incline at a low speed, and if you can go to a bunch of people's before and afters, and people are getting shredded off that. And running really is not just long distance running isn't necessarily a very good way to shred body fat. In fact, there's a lot of studies that show if you're going to do long distance running, your body starts understanding, hey, the body's very adaptive. The body is very adaptive. So if you start running long distances a lot, the body says, hey, I need to store energy because we're going to be called to do this. What do you think it's going to start storing? To some degree.
Yeah. It's going to start storing fat. Yeah.
Right.
Especially if you have a super healthy mitochondria and a delivery system for it, because you're in such, your cardiovascular system is so great that it's going to start storing that so that when you do that again, and it's just going to keep doing that.
And that's why sprinters are shredded, because the body, it's an anaerobic exercise, and you can essentially do all the work needed within the oxygen that you have in your blood system.
Yep.
To some degree. So either go slow and long or go really fast and short.
Yep.
But long distances at a medium pace in between is not it's not the best remedy, and it's kind of counterintuitive actually.
I've never enjoyed it. And
I don't doesn't surprise me you're not built to be a runner, Phil.
no, not really. I don't have the legs for it. I got little hobbit legs, man. We don't do well with that. I'll put 40 pounds on my back and walk all day.
Right. Yeah.
I'm built like fucking Frodo Baggins, man, and I can walk.
I always say, hey, true. That's true diversity. I don't need a bunch of different skin colors on my team. If we all think the same or we all have the same physical capabilities, that's not diversity.
Yeah.
Give me a guy who can run long distances. Give me a guy who can lift a bunch of weight. Give me a really smart guy. Give me a somewhat dumb guy that'll doesn't question things. Like that's
open that door with your head. Okay.
Right. Yeah, but make them all good dudes. There's a team you want to be on.
Yeah, I don't. And that, like you said, the diversity thing. I've never understood that. Like, especially after being in the military. Before I was in the military, I probably would have been like, yeah, things need to be more diverse. But I grew up in New York and New Jersey. You think I was just the only white kid in the school? Sometimes, But in the military, we had all these guys. And I hate that term. I don't see color. Everybody sees color. You can see that dude's skin is different color than yours. But I also see if you're an asshole or not. If you're just a douchebag, you're a douchebag. I don't care what color you are.
For sure.
And it doesn't really matter to me because some of my best friends are black or Mexican. And I'll pick them all day long on the volleyball team or the dodgeball team. You know what I mean? So I think all that diversity shit's just a way to
it's absolutely insane.
Shake shit up.
And as always, it only goes one way. This one of the biggest things, not to turn this into a political thing, but it's just fun to talk about. If we're just going to be joking with facts here.
Yeah.
That, Hillary Clinton used to say on the trail all the time, like, our greatest strength is our diversity. Our greatest strength is our diversity. Never once has just being diverse been the reason for strength. And I can go over and over. If that were true, then why is our Olympic basketball team all black? If that were true, why is our track and field, especially short distance, all black?
Yeah.
Why is our hockey team all white? Like, so if diversity was our greatest strength, then we diversify those things up.
Yeah.
And really get strength. That's not, by no way is that our greatest strength. Our greatest strength is good people, and good people is colorless.
Yep.
Good people.
That's all they care about is helping that person.
Yeah. I don't care if our president and vice president are different color, different genders. I don't care if they're both women. I don't care. Who's the best person for the job? It's the only thing I care about. I don't care about diversity. Give me the best person for the job.
Joe gave us $5. I think that's our first one ever on this show. Just so you know.
I'll take credit for that.
Good job, Brent. You need some body fat to store when it needs something to burn. Yeah, exactly. And like we're talking about the long distance runners. I would like to see a study, and I've never really looked for one. I'm sure there's one out there on how much muscle mass those runners end up burning throughout an event, right?
Yeah.
Especially like cross country runners and stuff like that, because I've never seen an overweight or even a moderately overweight or a chunky fucking cross country runner ever in the history of everything.
Right. Because of course, when you go into extremes, these people are just burning so many calories that the body isn't capable of putting fat on. But if they slow down, it would. But while they're burning extremes and calories, in fact, they're burning such extreme calories, they're literally eating while they're running.
Yeah.
That's how much fat. That's how much, calories they're burning. So doesn't allow their body a chance to put on fat. They've burned through it so fast. And like you said, during those races, they are scientifically figuring out how many calories they have to consume, or else their body will start eating itself.
Yeah. And that's the thing is it blows my mind that I like that. It blows my mind that your body will do that because it doesn't have any fat reserves. It doesn't have any, this, that, and other thing, but your body will always defend itself. Hypothermic,
That's right.
All the blood will shunt to your core, keep you alive. You don't want to be alive, but it'll keep you alive.
Right. To me, we're gonna cross over a bunch of different subjects, but to me, the human body is the only thing I need to know there's a God. It's amazing. It's self-repairing. It's adaptive. It's absolutely a miracle in itself.
Yeah. So for me, it's funny that you said that. I've always said this when I've never been super religious or anything else like that. I've always known there's something. I don't know what I call it. We'll call it God, right? But I know something created us. I know we didn't just come from two fucking rocks hitting each other and boom, there we are. We didn't come from a fucking monkey. We didn't come from an amoeba.
Yeah.
It wasn't an accident. And this is always my my linchpin, the human eyeball. Forget the rest of the body, the human eyeball. Technically, we're supposed to see everything upside down. But because of the way our lenses and our brain works together, it flips images right side up and we're able to see how we see.
Yeah.
Who the fuck designed that shit?
Wasn't by chance, tell you
It
that.
wasn't by chance. Should do it again, Joe. Yeah, so I completely agree with that. And when people want to say, well, God's not real and this, that, and everything, I'm sure, I don't know if you've seen it, but they've got guys that, during a mortar attack or whatever else, who was a Satanist when they got to Afghanistan, suddenly they believe in God and they're praying. Like, dude, get up. Get away from me because whatever you're doing now is going to cause me some trouble. Get the fuck away.
Yeah, I'll tell you, for the most part, when things are good, there's really, to some people, there's no reason to look for a God or a need for a God. But ironically enough, when things get really bad, all of a sudden they're definitely looking for a God to help them out.
And then they're mad when he's not taking phone calls that day.
Right. What's not taking phone calls? Right. Yeah. New number. Who dis?
Yeah. Who dis? Screen individuals for age. We don't screen for age. Prostate.
Can't do it.
We can do blood tests for cancer. I don't know specifics on what they would be looking for. I know for guys you can, because the old Roto-Rooter, they don't got to do that shit anymore, and they've never had to do that. Did you know that? They never had to do that.
Never had to do that.
Motherfuckers. That's some sick motherfuckers.
Yeah. Doesn't cancer release some sort of indicator, and you can test through blood?
White blood cells will be through the roof.
Yeah,
or low.
What is it?
Their white blood cells will either be through the roof or low. I can't remember which one.
Okay.
I think it's through the roof. I should know this. My mom passed away from cancer. And my grandmother. So I should know this, but I don't.
Right. And it sounds like you should get screened.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I get blood tests all the time, obviously. So supposed to been practicing.
They have to be looking for that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like when you go in to get, if you have markers and stuff, I highly recommend you go get it. We're actually getting ready to start working with this company. We gotta get everything dialed in. They're still working on the website and stuff, and hopefully we'll be able to put it on the website where you go to the website and it's not cheap. It's like $3,000, but it does a full genetic testing on any markers you might have for cancers or this or that. It shows you, it does like a methylation test. So that Gary Brecka methylation test, that's included in this test. That's why it's expensive. But it really tests your entire system, your body, and could help prevent, especially folks that have precursors to cancers and precursors to Alzheimer's and all these other things that you can have. It can give you a pretty good indication that you might want to start getting healthier or checking these markers out.
Yeah.
See here, Brent. It baffles me that there's atheist doctors and scientists.
You'd think the more you know, the more you'd be in awe of.
The more people know, the dumber they are.
For sure.
Yeah. Same here, Joe. For sure. Life, for example, do they make? So we have, believe it or not, we have some dudes that had some issues. I'm not going to discuss their issues. And we've had to do extra testing. For instance, we have an individual that had, can't remember what it's called, but he had to get extra testing because he was at a higher risk. So he has to go do blood dumping once in a while. It's like once every 2 months. And blood dumping is just you go and give blood. Because the last thing we want to do is make anybody worse. So those guys are highly monitored. Instead of the, every 6 month blood work, they have to do it every 2 to 3 months. So yeah, we really try to take care of our guys because of the people that we're working with and working for. So
that's a good you kind of glazed over it, but go over just a little bit more in detail about blood dumping. And maybe I just wasn't aware of it. That seems to be something that people talk about a little bit newer, or more recently. Or if it happened, before 10 years ago, I just didn't know about it.
So yeah, I've known about it, and I've been doing it for about the last 16 years. So sometimes when you start taking testosterone, or any other hormone, it'll build up excess. Like testosterone builds up excess because you're injecting X amount and and if your body deems that it's excessive, you'll start getting tired and a little bit lethargic. It's nothing like what it was before, but you're just a little bit tired, little irritable, not too bad. And you just go down to the blood clinic, give whatever blood they need, and you feel right as rain and you're good again. I've done it a couple times, but I haven't really had to do it too much. I know some guys that they do it every 3 or 4 months to 6 months, just as a practice because they got into a habit of doing it, and it was something they enjoy doing, and they're helping the world. So prostate tumors, for example, their growth is stimulated with testosterone. Research that.
Yeah, that goes, and that's some of the crossover that I believe you get when talking about HGH and testosterone. And so they're talking about HGH will kind of make everything in your body bigger. And we kind of talked about that with the heart, and that it's just not the same with testosterone.
So I kind of glazed over this a little bit earlier, Vanessa. Harvard just did a study in 2024 that they completely and 100% disproved that. Check out the Harvard Institute of Medicine or something like that on testosterone and prostate cancer. Full panel CBC blood workup will tell a lot. Yes. So we do full panel CBC, LH, FSH. We do everything. We do your entire endocrine system. Had 2 buddies that were told to get off TRT, and I was doing and doctors do that. A lot of doctors say get off TRT for everything, whether you want to have kids or you want to you find out that you have cancer of some sort. But they've also found that guys that have cancer, they're actually giving them testosterone again, because guess what happens when you take testosterone? When your body is completely depleted of every good cell in it, well, it starts healing itself, maybe almost like it's supposed to be there. So someone who does bloodletting, no, that's not what it is. Bloodletting is a very different thing, and they quit doing that in about the 600s. Because bloodletting is just sticking a hole in your head and dumping blood out of your forehead. Blood dumping is just giving blood. That's all it is.
Yeah, I think the just confusing terms there.
Yeah,
but we probably with George Washington had a chance, including Abraham Lincoln, could possibly still be here if they weren't into bloodletting.
Yes.
By just dumping good blood, thinking that the sickness and all the bad things are in the blood. So let's get as rid as much blood as possible.
It builds a lot of red blood cells also and can cause blood clots because you're. Can you cite that source for me, please?
And here's another thing, and he may be correct. Let's just say that this is a possibility that he may be. But yeah, Jazz, we figured what you mean.
Yeah,
just kind of Phil's just being a jerk and just really being
I know
just about words.
I have to say that because if I'm like, yeah, it's bloodletting, somebody's gonna clip it and be like, he's promoting bloodletting. Didn't so die from it?
But for whatever reason in this world, because for the long time it was kind of in the shadows, there's just a lot of old, if you want to call it old wives' tales, whatever it is, like these myths that have been told you for so long that just end up not being true.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard.
I'm not saying he's wrong.
Through what's fact and what's fiction.
Right. I'm not saying he's wrong because he's actually kind of right. Yes, it can build up red blood cells. That's why I do give blood occasionally. And some guys, it does it a lot faster. And I just wanted to cite, I want the source of where he's unequivocally saying that that's what it will do. Not saying that you're wrong at all. I'm always interested in learning more. And there are very specific reasons why some people's do it faster or they do it more. So if you have some kind of a site that I can read actual studies, I don't want something that's bought off by the pharmaceutical companies or somebody's opinion piece. I want an actual like Harvard study or
oh man, it's funny you say that because kind of what you're either alluding to or directly mentioning is then you find out really the dirty world of the supplement business.
Yep.
Where they will take out these websites and they will give them a name, Muscle Fitness Nutrition,
Mars Men,
top new supplement, and they'll talk about it as if it's some independent study done and proving how amazing this supplement is, only to find out later when someone does some digging that whole website was bought by them. The whole study was done by them.
Yep.
And it was completely bogus.
And that's why I'm saying to cite a source, not Google, because yes, Google will show you, but the very next answer right here from Micah, 1,000%. That's right. Peer-reviewed studies are key. Tell me to check Google. That's not an answer. That's kind of a cop-out. I'm sorry.
If enough people are talking about it on a bodybuilding forum, Google will pull in that information and cite it. Google doesn't. It just pulls in information. It doesn't know what's factual or not.
Right. I've read plenty of studies, and I have to read a bunch so that I understand what I'm looking at, what I'm putting in my body and everything else. And I wouldn't be promoting anything that is going to hurt people. I mean, I can take a picture of, I'm on so much shit that I literally have a refrigerator in my bathroom on my counter because most of us be cold and I'm too lazy to walk downstairs and grab it and do it and put it back downstairs. Plus my wife would kill me if I put that shit in the refrigerator and took up her whole refrigerator. But, with that being said, there are studies. I can guarantee you can find 10 studies. But again, what I was saying is show me who paid for it. Get down to the brass tacks. If it's not a peer review study, I just don't have any time for it.
Yeah.
Because anybody can say anything they want. And you can look at all the doctors that said COVID was a real thing. You had doctors intubating people when they walked in the fucking ER. When's the last time you heard anybody that said, "Oh, Brent, I can't breathe. Put me on a fucking ventilator." That's not a thing. There's like 10 steps before that ever happens.
Doctor in America telling kids that they need to be vaccinated who had were the least susceptible people to the coronavirus.
Or just put your shirt over your face all day. I mean, that's just a small scenario because it was just recent of why I don't believe the medical industry. And then
that's why it's so powerful.
Yeah. And then if you look at the studies or the effects of how testosterone has actually helped, and you look at this because there's 100 years of studies on it. Look at full peer-reviewed studies from England and Germany and they're in the forefront. I don't care what anybody says, they're in the forefront of everything. They're in the forefront of stem cells. They're in the forefront of all these therapies that the United States won't do because it has to do with blood. Let's see. Harvard Health has a study that says FDA warns people about testosterone causing blood clots in men. Yeah, and I believe in the FDA about as much as I believe in Santa Claus. Sorry, that was probably rude. I didn't mean it to be rude, but I don't. The FDA also pulled BPC 157 because it works too well. Yes, my father passed. Yep, dealt with it for 25 years. Not saying it's not a thing. Just saying that I don't believe that it affects as many people as you actually think. It's like the guy you had on your the doc you had on Antihero. Mm-hmm. The reason why I could not get LASIK surgery when I was in the military was because of that one fucking study that they did with one person that went to Everest. I'm not going to friggin' Everest.
Yep. Yeah, it was a Special Forces Battalion PA. Chris Hasenhauer.
No, it's not difficult. You make sure you have all of your stuff together because they tell you to have your medication with you. They understand if you have an injectable medication, whether it's testosterone or it's insulin, it's a prescribed. If you take a vial that's not prescribed and does not have any kind of doctor's thing on it, you're going to get hemmed up.
Yeah. And again, definitely not saying don't worry about it. But if you think about it, like you made a great point about insulin. When these people see, all this going through the X-ray machine, they see insulin needles and medicine going through all the time.
Yep.
So obviously be prepared in case it happens. But I have never, and I travel all the time. I've never had anyone take it out and say, "What's this?" I'm waiting for it just in case, but it's never happened.
Yeah, you're prepared. It's my testosterone. Here's all my paperwork. Here's all the names. Yeah, Joe, sorry about your loss because it's never easy to lose a parent, obviously.
No.
My brother says, do your homework and look it up and look multiple sources, do your homework. Yeah, it's the truth. I say it because it's real. If you just believe what everybody says, you're going to be a sheep and you're going to blindly follow. You're going to be a lemming and you're going to go right off that cliff with them. If you have an idea that you're going to do something like testosterone, obviously always do the homework for you. And then make sure you're monitoring everything. Because if you're not monitoring stuff, then you're just buying this shit from some gym rat behind the gym and you don't know what you're sticking in yourself. At least you're sticking something that's FDA approved, since that's what the word we used a minute ago. And it's made in a friggin' lab. It's safe relatively. I mean, I don't really think that anything is safe anymore, but
as someone, on my podcast that has to do investigative journalism at time to time, this is something I've really tried to that's really helped me. So, and what you guys saying, we're not saying that it's absolutely not true. It could be true. We're just challenging you at the end of the day. But if it's real beneficial to look up your search both ways, because if you just search testosterone causes blood clots, excessive red blood cells, you're only going to get those results. So I always try to Google things the opposite way, so I can see the counter argument for that as well.
Right.
So it's just a challenge. Like as you guys are looking up this stuff, of course, like do your due diligence and try to learn. But for sure, Google it both ways. Read the argument, read the counter argument, and then you have to use your own sort of logic on that.
Yeah, and that's perfectly said, Brent. Because I'm not trying to shit on him whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I wasn't saying that you're wrong because you didn't show me a peer review study. No, I'm just saying that peer review studies seem to be, I guess, the gold standard for it, if you will. But with that peer reviewed study, there's other studies that go along with that and that build up to that actually get you to find out where the money came from, who paid for that. Was this just a shitty study that was half-assed done? Did they actually do a double-blind studies? Did they do all of this stuff? Because if they're not doing all these steps to do it properly, then someone paid for that study and they paid for it so that it would go the way they wanted it to go, so their insurance company can deny you because your levels are in the double digits.
Yeah. And
you know what I mean?
Certain people can hate this comparison all they want. It's just true. One of the first jobs I did was as a program manager for a contracting company. One of the things I was tasked to do was find money in the grant world. And it blew my mind when I started looking at government funded grants. There's a ton of grants out there for global warming.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is the only grants out there were to prove global warming.
Yeah.
And guess what? And guess what those scientists did?
They proved it.
They proved global warming.
Well, everybody knows the global warming is a real thing.
You want to know how many grants I came across to disprove global warming?
2.
I never found any.
Oh, I was being facetious with it, but damn,
I never found any. So it's essentially, the science. I say the government, but it's essentially the scientific community within the government paying for results of research that they want done.
Yeah. Is that Samorlin? We carry Samorlin. I will have to look into the other ones to see.
Tell me about Samorlin. I think that's the second time that's come up.
You can shoot me an email to pj@hp-trt.com and shoot those to me, and I'll look them up and see if it's something we can carry or we have something similar. Samorlin, it's amazing. It works in your pituitary gland. You inject at night, sub-Q, and it mimics ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone. And it sends a message to your pituitary gland, says, hey, we need more growth hormone. And it creates more growth hormone while you sleep. It's better to take it at night so that you don't eat your entire house, because if you take it during the day, you're going to eat, because guess what it's doing? And it's mimicking the hunger hormone. So you're going to be hungry. Your body's going to say eat.
All right.
So Amazon reviews, look at good reviews, bad reviews. Yep, pretty much. But yeah, it helps with, it really has helped me with my joints, my ligaments, my tendons, my shoulder, because I had torn the labrum. I quit having pain. Like I'd wake up in the morning in pain. I woke up in the morning now, I have aches. I'm 47, 15 surgeries. I should ache, right?
Right.
But I don't wake up and take 2 hours to get my shit together and kind of get my body warmed up and just to get started with the day. I can get up and get ready and go, I have a better leg that he didn't want me to be a sheep. You can't spell for shit, can you, Danny? You need a spell check, and I'm going to fuck with you because my brother. Yes, well, thank you. You have to challenge yourself in everything, no matter what it is, and you have to challenge everything everybody says. Stop letting people tell you that you're right about everything, except those are the best cigars ever. Global change, peas. I live in Weather Bermuda Triangle. There we go. Just ask the Slacker family. Yep, the Sackler family bought studies, and they all did it. So no worries at all. Okay. Yeah, so I guess the main thing that we can pull away from most of this is no matter what it is you want to do with your hormones, your health, whatever, the medical industry has made it to where we don't have control of us, right? If you want to get a shot, like say you want ivermectin, if you go to the wrong doctor, you ain't getting that shit, and you're going to go on some kind of watch list because you want a horse dewormer, even though it literally won the Nobel Peace Prize or some Nobel Prize for the best medicine of its time. So you can't tell me that guy who won that prize for that medicine, everybody didn't see that it was a horse dewormer to begin with. Tramadol. That's it's a medicine that we get as human beings. Fun fact, they also give it to animals. They give it to dogs. I used to give it to my old dogs before they died because they were in so much pain because of their hips. So there are medicines that we take as human beings that are given to animals as well. So stop thinking that it's just one thing because the media told you to.
My family business growing up was a feed store, Tucker's Farm and Garden Center. There was plenty of stuff that we sold that people came in to buy because it was the same thing, but because it was made for animals, it was a lot cheaper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because it's made for animals, and you just have to know the dosage. Obviously, you have to look at it and say, okay, this is what a human would take. This, you're not going to take the same thing as a 1,500-pound horse. Might fuck you up a little bit. You might grow a tail or something.
Yeah.
Doing a reorder.
Yes. The Bravos have always been priced higher than the Alphas. Yeah, they're Maduros instead of Habanos. Maduros are aged a little bit longer, so they'll always be a little bit higher priced. But you can use the. You probably already know this from the Antihero Podcast, but you can use promo code FRCC15, FRCC15, and bring down that price a little bit.
I mean, it would be cool if we had a HP 15 or something, but we're not cool enough yet for Brent, but we'll get there. So you were saying with this whole the alcohol line, it's put you under a lot of stress as far as like getting this and this going. What's your main concern or what's your main problem with that? Sleep, all the above?
All the above. Like kind of remember what I was talking earlier about like not being able to shut your mind off.
Yeah.
Talk about just sitting there in bed, and because I haven't been working out very much, my body isn't very tired, and so my mind can keep my body can overtake my body's need for sleep because it does. It's not as tired.
Yeah.
Just sitting up, crunching numbers, seeing I just go on and on actually about the all the details that that I worry about both near and far, and going into the numbers trying to decide, hey, did I just take all the essentially all the healthy profits of our business this year and throw it away, or did I reinvest it into grow the business? Is this going to be the worst thing we ever did? Is this going to be the best thing we ever did? And then I can just go down that line just real quick. Even if it's successful, if I have to buy, if I initially buy 5 barrels, even if it sells like hotcakes and I have to turn around and buy 10 more barrels, well, guess what? We didn't, there's not enough profit in alcohol. So I don't necessarily get to double my money. So even if I have to turn around and buy 10 barrels, I still am going to lose money on my next purchase, even though we grew. And then I can continue to go down that road to show in business, when you grow for an uncomfortable period of time, it costs you money to grow. And
trust me, I know.
Right. Yeah, I know you know this.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy, but when you live it and someone walks it out for you for the first time, someone will go, man, I didn't know growing could be so stressful. And so you're basically stressed out if it works or if it doesn't work. The only thing good about it working is that it will. I mean, there's obviously light in that tunnel. It is a good thing.
Yeah.
You got to be prepared for it. And you got to make sure that you're financially set to grow and to scale up. And so it's mentally exhausting, which is physically exhausting. It's stressful, which is just throwing those, cortisol levels through the roof.
Yep.
And it's not a recipe for health, I'll tell you that.
So, Samorlin, cousin, babies don't sleep as good as I do. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
I heard about it. I read about it. I was like, whatever. I mean, I sleep okay. I sleep a couple hours a night, whatever. I started taking Samorlin. Man, I'm going to take this shit for the rest of my life. Because I'll tell you what, I sleep amazingly and I wake up refreshed every morning.
That was the key. And I have a weird sleep problem, unlike a lot, but I've met other people like mine. And the sleep studies will show it. I don't have a problem for the most part going to sleep. I do at times. I stay asleep. I will sleep for 8 hours, 9 hours. Heck, you let me go long enough in a dark room, I'll go to double digits.
Yep.
But then I will wake up and I probably wouldn't have dreamed all night because I didn't get into REM sleep. I basically just stay in a constant level of light sleep.
Right.
So there's no restorative sleep in that 9 to 10 hours without going into deep sleep. Your deep sleep, you sleep in 3 cycles, deep sleep being a third of that. So if you sleep for 9 hours, you should have got 3 hours of deep sleep, which probably would have happened every third hour for an hour at a time. I'm not getting that. So even though I slept a long time, I wake up in a haze. I wake up tired, like I fell asleep 3 hours ago. There's just nothing regenerative about my sleep.
Right. Samorlin will do that. It helps you get into deep and REM sleep faster. Just from the nature of it being the way it works with your pituitary gland and everything else.
Where you at, Joe?
I think Vanessa said something about so tier 1 condoms coming soon.
That's not true.
Yeah, that is not a fact. That is misinformation today.
I think Sean might have been the same one. It's like said.
Does Sean work for CNN?
Because we keep the same first responder coffee, first responder cigar, first responder cask.
Right.
And someone wrote to me, and it might have been Sean because he's joking about it. Because you guys should do condoms, first responder condom company, and still be FRCC. And I said, man, that actually sounds great. I'm sure there's a condom market, but I can't get behind a product that I myself don't use. I don't believe in. so I have a hard time getting behind that one.
Yeah, me too. We can't ship, unfortunately. Okay, that this thing keeps jumping on me. Anyone tried Horse Soldier bourbon? You know what? Funny story about that. So you obviously know who the Horse Soldiers are.
Started by ODA, let's say 574.
I thought it was 594.
594. Okay, yeah. I was
so some of my friends just bought property in Kentucky. Did you see the video going of the Dukes of Hazzard car jumping over that fountain a couple months ago? Well, that's the town where they're moving to. That was like downtown. They jumped it over a friggin' fountain that's been there for like 200 years or something. So from their front door when they build their house to the Horse Soldiers' new bar or whatever that they're going to have there is like 12 minutes. He actually timed it because he'd been to the restaurant and stuff like that. So it was started by Green Berets, and it was the original Horse Soldiers that originally went into Afghanistan and worked with the Northern Alliance. And bourbon's not really smooth drinking. I never drank bourbon or whiskey to taste it. I drank it to get shit faced. So
I know.
That's why I quit drinking.
You say that. I've always said that anyone who truly says like that whiskey or bourbon is truly smooth, you've had too much whiskey to drink in your life. Or
you were drinking moonshine first.
Oh man, There are smoother ones than the other one, but I've never got done mowing the lawn on a really hot summer day and been like, I would like a shot of bourbon because it's so refreshing and smooth.
Yeah, nope.
It's oddly enough, Joe, we can't ship to Kentucky where it's from because of those are state regulations. And
Yeah.
it's crazy that the home of bourbon doesn't allow you to ship to it.
Cag Daddy in the he's been in the motherfucking house for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it, Brent. So if you guys don't know, we had Kenny from Red Ninja that was supposed to be on tonight.
Yeah.
He had something he couldn't get out of, police related. And I frantically called Brent, said, would you like to be on the show tonight? He said, I would love to be, after he fucked with me and said that he was going to, you need one of my friends to come in. So we're very thankful that you came in and helped us out, and we're able to share your side of the story for some of the things that that you were able to overcome with, testosterone and or steroids or whatever. Because I mean, most of the guys I talk to that have signed up, they all have done some sort of cycle. I think we all kind of have, and it just is what it is. But I think doing it this way is much better because I'm not going to Mexico to get it. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I have a doctor that's like, hey, we need to dial this back a little bit. Hey, we need to pump this up a little bit. Hey, your vitamin D's low. And we work as an entire endocrine system, not just your testosterone levels, because that doesn't ever work.
Yeah, I'll answer this question because and I saw the question earlier. We're just getting through it. It's definitely, we don't hide it as if it's some sort of secret. It's just more of just not in a braggadocious way, to say what we do. But me and Tyler are co-owners of Human Performance TRT. We had in fact, I'll just real quick, I'll tell just a Reader's Digest version of it very, very, very quickly. There was a third owner that originally came to us and brought us this idea, and HPTRT was on the struggle bus. Like we were just partnered with some I don't want to say bad people. They just weren't doing what we needed them to do. We had a bunch of people who needed things in a timely manner, and it wasn't working. At the time, Phil had come on, and I'll tell you a story here for you, Phil, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Came in and worked for free, unbeknownst to me, for months, just because he wanted guys to have this and for the cause. And when the third owner decided to basically throw in the towel, we basically said, "Hey, Phil's been doing this whole time. Let's talk to Phil and see if we can make this better." We were told, "Hey, like there's really no way to do this." We refused to believe that. Mainly Phil, but we all believe there's a better way to do it. So between me, Tyler, and Phil, we brought in Phil. Phil's been nothing but amazing and is absolutely we'll never be perfect as a company. Like, we're humans. There's humans that fulfill these orders. But ever since Phil really took the reins, gosh, what is our, if you want to call it, fulfillment rate or issues dropped by 90 something %. It's just been amazing.
It went from your first order take over a month to most people are ordering on Monday and getting it by like Friday. So I always tell people 5 to 7 days. And then you have to account for shipping, because you never know where you live, what the shipping is going to go. But we've really been able to, but that goes to because we now have partnered with the pharmacies. We don't have a middleman. We don't have a middleman with the doctors anymore. We are a standalone entity, and I can call the doctor right now. I can call the pharmacy and talk to the pharmacy and find out why these orders are taking so long, if they're taking so long. Like last week, we had an incident where we brought on a new pharmacy that promised us the ceilings, and come to find out we weren't told that these orders had been processed in 5 days. So we pulled all the orders and we sent them somewhere else. We let the guys know, hey, we're really sorry. We just found out today that these weren't taken care of. We've expedited them and we're sending it overnight as soon as it's filled through the pharmacy. So the guys that's happening to, thank you for understanding. We're going to run into issues, we're going to run into problems, but we try everything we can to make sure that we keep everybody happy. So
I think most people realize there's an acceptable amount of issues, which is low, and there's an acceptable period that an issue should be an issue, which is short.
Yeah.
And but both of those things were happening well outside what even we believed was okay. And so if it wasn't for Phil coming in and really knowing the inside and out of the business and really taking the reins, it was we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for you, Phil.
Oh, well, thank you, Brent. That's means a lot to me because I've put a lot of time into it, and
I'm just saying for the day right there, Phil.
Yeah, and I tried to do everything I can to make sure everybody's happy. And Redline, not only is it veteran owned and operated, but it's veteran founded, veteran owned, veteran operated. And the two ladies that we have working with us, they're children of veterans. So we have all veteran staff, all veteran, everything until we get to like the pharmacy. Our doc is stellar. He's more liberal than most docs when it comes to medications. He doesn't just look at a number and say, oh, well, guess what? You're at 550. No, he will talk to you and he does a consultation with you, whether if you're at work and you can't be on a Zoom, but you can take a call, he'll do that. He tries to mitigate any problems before they become any issues before they become a problem. And with that, he looks at you and he listens to you and asks you what's going on with you. And then he makes a final determination. He doesn't just look at and say, oh, you're at 550, you're good, like the doctor we had previously. So it's nice that we have a doc that actually listens to guys and pays attention to what's going on. And I've heard nothing but great things about him recently. So, hey, Wade. Yeah, you're welcome, man. You know my number if you need anything. Medicine, the only time liberal is a good thing. Yeah. And he's really, and I mean liberal in the nicest sense of the word, just because he pays attention to the encompassing things. He doesn't just take that one number and say, hey, that's it, you're good, bye. He really wants to make sure guys are, because he knows who we're working for and working with. And it's this country's heroes, whether you're the garbage man, you're building somebody's house, you're doing whatever. People that are serving others, that's more important than a bottom line to a lot of people. So, and we're one of them. So, but yeah, it's been, the last month's been hell trying to figure everything out. We had the payment processor issue, which I just found out today. Our legit script certification has moved forward and is now being reviewed. So within the next, hopefully, couple of days, we'll get that done. Our full-time payment processor will come on. We moved away from the 2.9% plus 50 cents per transaction to 1.5% and 20 cents per transaction, just because I looked around.
Yeah.
We'll be legit script certified, which means we can advertise anywhere if we wanted to. And we can actually advertise on our website that we have Samorlin and peptides and this and that and the other thing. So it's been a long road for the last month. We went to for a week, we went down to Ohio, and I spent the entire time working, trying to figure that out. And my wife was pissed, which she should have been, because I was there to have fun and see family, and I was working. And I vowed I'd never do that again. So when we went on our vacation to go see family, I told you guys, I'm available a little bit. I'm not going to be full on.
Right.
I still worked a little bit, but that shows you the team I have, the team that we've built now, that I can leave for 3 weeks. I was gone for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And we didn't have one hiccup while I was gone.
We were told it would never happen. We were told it was impossible. We were told it was a sinking ship. Get off of it.
And we were told that only one person could figure it out, and it wasn't us.
That's right.
So somehow in less than 60 days, 45 days, we figured out how to get the docs, get with the pharmacies. Oh, and today I just set up the pharmacy stuff inside of Intake Q and the lab stuff, so we can send everything from right away. So we send the labs or the medicine over to the doc. He reviews it, says yes, and hits send, and it goes right to the pharmacy. So no more writing it out and all that crap. And and Crystal's been a huge help with that. And Hortensia is friggin' amazing. We have a rock star team, Brent, and it makes me feel good that we can go individually and go to our vacations, and the other part of the team knows how to do everything. So it's not only I know how to do it and only I can figure it out. No, we don't do it that way. Everybody has to know the job.
Yep.
Quay, I'm not even going to pronounce that.
Quay.
See, that looks like.
That's right. Gonna have here in a little bit when this thing's done. Just warming it up. I'll have my evening cigar, and oddly enough, like sometimes it's hard to shut off the brain. It is, like, in a weird way. If it wants to run wild, you can try to control your thoughts, and you really can. You can do a good job of controlling your thoughts, but at times it is a near impossible task. But I try to. I go out. I have my evening cigar, and I basically I try to put my phone down, and everything I want to put all my brain power to. That's when I sit there. I don't do this like don't think about anything and just relax. That's ridiculous. Like we're men, we're business owners, we have people that are depending on us. There's no time to just sit there and be by yourself and negate that. So I spend that time. It takes me about 45 minutes to smoke a cigar, and that's where I put all my problem solving power to then. So I can go to bed and try to shut it off and be like, hey, there's no reason to think about it anymore. We thought about it.
Right. Yeah. And that was one of the advantages to Summerlin, because when my brain won't stop, because I almost severed the L5 nerve running down my leg, my body will relax, but my brain won't shut off. So my legs will start twitching. And then you ain't going to sleep. So I get my ass up and I go downstairs and I watch TV and I sit in my chair until I finally fall asleep. And, that's 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Kids get up at 7, 6, and you try to sleep a little bit, but they're only going to be quiet for so long.
That's right. That's true.
So, it boils down to, we have to take care of ourselves. And this guy, unacceptable or what? I'm not a fan of that idea. I don't think we need Canada as a 51st state. Why don't you just relocate to the good old US of A?
Seems like that would be easier.
I mean, you could hot rod down here. We can get you on HPTRT. Brent can get you some coffee, cigars, condoms, whatever you need with a C in it.
Gosh, year 5 of a divorce and lawyers. Talk about a stress ball, and probably what's been a money leech, which contributes to the stress.
Yeah, absolutely. I did 2 of those, and the second one was easier, but the first one was it's a nightmare. It was. I feel for you, brother. I do. I think anybody in here that's been divorced, whether you're a male or female, you feel his pain, because you don't feel like doing shit, and like we were talking about earlier, you feel like a failure as a man, because we always think we can fix stuff, and whether it's fixable or not, right? We still feel like we should have tried more, or we should have done this, or we should have done that. And man, just don't beat yourself up. See if you can find some kind of a primary care that will write it for you. And get yourself together, and hopefully not get yourself together in a rude way, but kind of gather your thoughts. And it's a tough road, man. And my thoughts are with you for sure. I mean, been there, done that. And if you move to America, Lion Arms can get you into
Do a custom made.
my man. That is incentive. That is incentive right there. Canada has had the worst GDP growth for like 5 years straight. Why add a liability?
A liability to the country.
I wasn't going to say that, so somebody else could.
Yeah.
Always going for the sale. Hey, you got to.
That's right.
A Brent Tucker tier 1. Hey, I don't have one of those. How do I get one of those? Where do I go to find that, Magnet?
Well, Lion Arms. He's got my signature tier 1 gun.
Oh man, that seems like is that the one you were shooting? I think the thumbnail might be you shooting that. Are you left-handed, Brent?
No, I'm right-handed.
Okay. Maybe it was reversed. The picture was.
But it's right-handed in the thumbnail.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know that I could have been training SWAT teams in that photo. Maybe I could have been. It's hard to tell.
Well, I am left-handed, so I thought that was cool, but never mind, Brent. Moving on.
Don't worry. I can shoot left-handed too.
I can shoot right-handed ish. But how often? So you have a crazy training schedule right now. How often are you in your own bed? Say in a 30-day period, how often are you in your bed?
It'd probably be easier to do it through a 30-day period of a month, but on busy months like this, definitely less than 50%, and then on less busy months, it's about 25%.
So essentially, you're back in the teams. You're just not kicking doors now. You're just trading shit.
Is that the truth? Yeah, we're taking off tomorrow to go to. I just got back from New York City, training their SWAT team. I got to go to Knoxville, Tennessee this weekend for an FRCC event. Goals, Gun Owners of America, has their event this weekend. So FRCC has a booth there. Ironically enough, I'll drive up tomorrow, Wednesday. I'll fly back Thursday for the live. I'll fly back to the event Friday, and then be there till Sunday and get in the FRCC RV and drive back Sunday. Have basically a down week of some more podcasts, and then off to NTOA the following week.
Oh wow!
In DC.
Wow. Are you tracking it all on if you're going to be going to SHOT Show next year?
I say no every year, and I'm there every year. So,
nice.
I
need to go there sometime because it seems like a hell of a time.
I'm not a fan of SHOT Show, but
no,
it is a necessary evil when it comes to relationships, connections.
Well, I know I don't offer guns, but I think I offer something cool that would be awesome for SHOT Show. And I'll sit there in that booth the whole time. I don't give a shit because I know we'll get some people be like, so what do you do? Let me tell you about it.
Target rich environment for us.
Who?
That'd be a target rich environment for us.
Oh yeah, we need. I don't know how we would apply for that with what we do, but I think we need to do it because I don't know that they have anybody else that goes there and does that. Because we're trying to get the troops better off. I mean, I think we have the better cannons than everybody else anyway.
Yeah. So I don't think we could even. I mean, I have to double check, but everything in SHOT Show has to be gun related or in the industry. I don't even know if we could get a booth at SHOT Show.
Yeah,
because it's not gun related.
Kind of.
These guns related. That's right. There you go. Do it.
CAG Daddy. Southpaws make some of the most excellent boxers.
Right.
I don't know. I've been in a lot of fights and I didn't win a lot of them.
Good night, brother.
Good night, man. If I got my hands on you, I was a good wrestler. So
Oh, shit. Yeah. Well, hey, most fights end up on the ground, so good for you.
yeah, I mean, I was little, so I
So you can
learned
get
real young.
center of gravity that get them to the ground.
I learned real young.
Yeah.
Speed, surprise, and violence of action. I think one of my coaches was a Green Beret or was in the military or something, and he always would say that. And he's like, "You're so fast. Just as soon as that whistle blows, strike." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I just did what I was told.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I got a early trip to Tennessee tomorrow.
Yeah, brother. I appreciate you, Brent. Thanks for coming on. Guys, thank you for all the questions. Thank you for all the fun banter. And I wanted to ask one more time, what was his name? Because I don't want to the white patriotic American. Did you see that I put the email in the chat? If not, let me know and I will say it one more time. Actually, I'm just gonna say it anyway. PJ at hp-trt.com. Send me a message. Let me know what you're looking for, and we'll see if we have it. If not, we can find a suitable substitute for it. Talk to the doc. He's got a plethora of knowledge, obviously, but yeah. Joe says, "Have a good night. A month. Excellent.
Thank you, Joe.
I appreciate it, Brent. Again, thank you so much, man, and
Enjoyed it.
safe drive tomorrow, and hopefully it all goes good for you and you sell a whole bunch of FRCC. I don't know which one it is going to be this time, but you know, condoms, whatever.
All but condoms.
Damn it. I'm with Magnet. Or was it Magnet that said that?
No, it was a message we got, I think, on our Patreon. So I think Sean, that guy may have also.
Oh, Sean, yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Man, but
all right, guys.
Man, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was good hanging out with you and getting to do this. So I appreciate the invite.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you saying yes, and talk to you soon, man.
All right. See you.
Good night, guys.